company is Crystal Edge Technology Screens. All right. So, as you all know, for quite some time, we've had a problem with a fellow by the name of Crow1176, who has, from day one, has tried to disrupt my company's performance by doing fake demonstrations, fake unboxings, memes, showing off photos of my derriere, stuff like that, just dumb, petty, childish stuff. And I mean, it goes on and on and on. We got slews of emails from this individual sending us all kinds of disturbing emails. There's a case coming up against him. One charge was filed against him, and another one for a lawsuit in April. So a lot of stuff that's been going on. So I don't know if he's getting ready to prep himself for this lawsuit coming out. I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, neither party could back their products. Now, Partay's over to my Crybaby. Look, man, Partay, at the end of the day, you can't back your product. You can make all the memes you want. At the end of the day, your shopping carts are locked. Even your samples are locked. And I told people that something was really sketchy about that to begin with, because I don't know how you have a product that is physically available, but yet you are giving out samples. And I told you, we're going to check back after the holidays and see if your shopping carts are open, because if anyone purchased any of those samples for 20 bucks, then, and they like the product, you can't give it to them because you're afraid to open up a shopping cart and fear that one of my people may buy, and we may get it down here and expose your product for being what it is, a fake. So that's one of them right there. Or the other one is that people bought it and didn't like it and didn't bother contacting you, and you just didn't bother opening your shopping carts. But all your shopping cart, your website's locked. So we already know the story behind that in your products. They don't work. All right, here on my table, I have 3 cancellations from you. One where we purchased a product where we had to go to PayPal to enforce the shipping from you because you refuse to respond back to us. You refuse to give us any form of tracking information. Anytime that I'm late on any shipping information, packages, containers, supplies, I'll come on and I do constant updates, okay? Updates for the day, so and so and so. Updates for this, so and so and so. Customers can reach out to me, call me, text me, whatever, and they can get information from me. On top of that, I got a slew of updates and even processing videos and me processing orders for my customers. So I can back up my work. You can't. I didn't see any videos saying any updates saying we're late on packages or this, that, and the other. Nope, none at all. And our order sat there for 3 days, and you didn't respond back. So I contacted PayPal and I requested them to have them ship the merchandise to us right away. Now, PayPal light that fire under your feet because you got no choice with them. You can't sit back and just on your own leisure time. PayPal will come and say, look, you got 10 days. They provide a tracking number and you had 10 days. How hard is it to do that? The fact that you didn't provide one, the fact that we got our money back even faster than the 10 days clearly shows that you had no intentions of shipping that product out to begin with, which raises the high concern to the fact that you're opening up sample sheets for people to come in and buy, but yet your shopping carts are still locked. So we all know basically his little rants is just him licking his wounds. Just sit in the corner, enjoy your binky, and watch this show. All right, now, as in Crow, as we explained before, over and over again, anytime you make a product, you have to be to back it up. Tests are extremely important. That's why you see me coming out here saying, man, we got a ton of tests to do today. You watch me run tests all in one day, ultra short throw, long throw, certifies, outside tests, inside tests, run that screen through possible, everything you can run through. That's why when we have a complaint against a customer that may say, hey, look, my projector is 3,800 lumens. I can come on there with a projector of 1,000 lumens, pull it back 11 feet, paint the screen in with a black screen and do those demonstrations on that level because our products were tested. We know exactly what they're going to do when we put them on camera. When you see me walk up there with those sample sheets or certified screens and put one after the next, after the next, after the next, after the next on my screen and just do it with ease and comfort because my product's tested. I know my product. But when you don't know your product and you don't know the difference between your product and a bed sheet, a tablecloth, you don't know the difference between your product and everyday black and white paint, then that's a really huge red flag. And the fact that we sent to him multiple times, look, man, you got to do these demonstrations. You got to understand, Jamie, at the end of the day, if you're going to accuse other people, products of being such and such and so, and you want to review other people's products, then guess what? You have to accept the fact that your product is going to be reviewed also. The fact that you want to and cancel those orders like that does not make you look good at all. It makes you look extremely bad. Very, very bad. At 14 times, even after giving someone an invite, it catches up to you. So as you can see, he went in, he changed his channels to something called strategy, something MicroStrategy US. I told you from the door, what did I say when he changed it? I said, in order for him to escape that review, he's going to have to delete every single video. You're going to have to go farther than this. You're going to have to rebrand everything. You can't be anything associated with a Crow1176. It's still going to be associated with the screen paint when it gets here. So you know that. You know why he's going through these measurements? Because the Cinemax is on his way. Crow kept his word. He actually kept his word. Now we'll know if he actually, because right now, by then he should have canceled by now. We should have had some kind of cancellation popping right now. Nothing. And we did say we are going to give him a grace period until Friday. His ship out time, he says he'll have a tracking number for us on Tuesday. If that tracking number pops up and we have one officially on its way, this is the reason why. You can see this reaction right here. He's separating himself as far as possible from that paint. Because when that paint gets here, and because he pumped it up to be something more than it wasn't, it had contrast capabilities, it could do this, it could do that, so on and so. He is trying to distance himself as far as he possibly can from that product when it gets here, because he knows darn well, once it lands in here, it's going to have issues. It's just not a comfort zone in this environment. We don't do ambient light controlled environments. We don't calibrate projectors. We don't use certain machines in here that we know that are going to make the screen look amazing. We don't do any of that stuff. We use the same day in and day out old projectors every single day. If certified screens are having issues struggling down here, what do you think is going to happen if an everyday screen paint pops up down here? That's never been tested on that level. It's going to have problems, a lot of problems. Now, I don't know where in the world you guys got this weird, I don't even, if you go to AVS forums, they will laugh you up. Any of you Crow boys walk into AVS forums, they will laugh you under a table. Walk in there and say, oh yeah, I got this screen paint that can produce a contrast level equal to a black diamond, equal to a dark star 9, equal to the dark technology under daylight screens. They'll laugh you under the table. Show me where, let me see this. Because even they know that the darker screens, the more expensive screens, are the screens that produce the highest contrast level. You don't know the difference between contrast between black and gray at the end of the day. If you don't, technically you should not be driving because you're definitely colorblind. But I told you it was going to happen. He was going to distance himself as far away from possible from the product altogether. Now, how do I know this is true? Because, as again, I go in and check here. This is his video right here, correct? That's the new name of his channel. Click on there. Because when that product gets here, it's going to be tested. And the first thing they're going to test it on is contrast level capabilities. Next to a black phantom. It's going to have to be able to pull the exact same contrast level. It's going to have to blend into that screen. It has to be where you can't tell one from the other. Do you even think that's even possible? If that's the case, I could go outside and I could squeeze a stone and turn it into a diamond. Not possible. Anybody in the home theater projection industry and industrial will tell you that is not possible. What have you been popping at the end of the day? Walk into any form site, and tell them that I have a gray screen paint that can perform the contrast level of a jet black screen, and they will laugh you out of that room. Get out of here with that dumb nonsense. Ain't possible. Here we go. See right here? He has on this video, Crow screen paint mixes destroying the competition. Funny, you would put that there, but at the end, if you look at the bottom, his tag has changed. And if you click on it, nothing there. How are you destroying the competition if you're not there? This is what you Crow boys support. Y'all coming to my channel, and this is what y'all rant about at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he threw you under a bus. Because when you stand by your company 100%, you stand by your company 100%. You don't change the name of the company. You don't rebrand the company. You back your product up 100%. As for PARTAY, in his comments, he's over there ranting about how I'm a crybaby. How am I a crybaby? I stood my ground. I did exactly what I've been doing for over 12 years. Anytime somebody comes against my company, I stood my ground. I came in, I presented my product, I backed my product at 100%. I've done tests that no one else could actually do at the end of the day. And I showed you guys, both of you at the same time, where your products were failing miserably. Partay's insane instructions. Nobody in their right mind is going to go through that instruction freaking finalia to basically paint a projection screen. Nobody will do that. Unless you seriously love to paint at the end of the day, that's the only way you're going to put yourself through that. But no one is going to do that. Lies and constant lies in your demonstrations. You can't back anything up you said in your demonstrations. Even in your own video demonstration on how to paint the screen, you miss multiple steps in your own video. Even said things incorrectly. That's how complicated your instructions are. You don't even know what's in them. You sat there and said that you have to stir each time. Even I know your freaking instructions now by heart because I've read them like 3 or 4 times. But you have to stir between, a light stir between each time that you apply that surface 4 times. You missed 2 of them. Actually, you missed 3 of them because in the third one, the last one didn't even show you spud the video up. You sat there and mentioned something about a paint pan, but never continued the conversation on the paint pan. Of course you couldn't, because if you could actually apply it on a paint pan, why don't you need to pour it on a screen to begin with? Constantly. The fact that you sat there and said your product was a very thin solution. It's not a thin solution if you have a buildup on a roller and you're pushing it around. If it was poly or water, you wouldn't have a buildup on the roller. It would absorb into the roller and roll in smoothly. Apparently you don't paint much. So the fact that that buildup, that roll is pushing that paint back and forth, that's not a thin solution. That's a solution that just won't take to a surface. That's all. Because that paint should have embedded into the surface if it was able to do so. It couldn't because there was something in that paint that wasn't allowing it to be able to marry to the surface. And that's why it was pushed around the screen like that. I'm a chemist, buddy. Did you know that? At the end of the day, I'm a bit of an amateur chemist. I don't have a degree in chemistry, but I've studied for quite a long time on different kinds of formulas and breakdowns and reactions, enough to know exactly what I'm doing. If I look at a formula and actually look at someone else's formula, I can break it down to see exactly how it actually reacts. Yeah. The stupidity behind the freaking motorized projection screen has no end to it. The fact that you told people that your solution is a thin coating and this would keep the screen from jamming up. Trying to use black diamond as an example as they print on their borders. Guess what, genius? Every freaking motorized screen prints a border. Now, Black Diamond may have a different way. Maybe they have a laser. Maybe it's a little more flatter than the rest of them. Maybe it's a more refined print. But every last one, I've never seen a motorized projection screen with a velvet border around it. It doesn't exist because you would jam the motor automatically. Not going to work. They automatically print them down. Nothing new. Multiple coats. You explain the reason why your item is so thin, because it's a thin coat won't jam your motor. Have you seen the 2 motorized projection screens that I custom painted downstairs? They have multiple coats attached to them. A lot of paint. So that you don't know what you're talking about at all, period. Out the window. Taking out a frame to paint it, big mistake. Done that one already myself when we used to ship fixed frame screens for customers. Never doing that one again. A lot of screens came back damaged because there were actually finger marks on the edges of the screen trying to get the screen to go into the frame after we painted it. And then expanding the screen, keep in mind, I paint constantly all the time. But you're talking about a customer who pretty much is painting for the first time, will make mistakes. And if it's a big enough screen and if it's a little overlap there and he paints over that, when he pulls that screen out, he's going to have a white line of the previous screen pushing through. Then it may be an issue where the surface might not marry that well because you have some surfaces that don't marry that well. Partay, did you know that? That some of the screens out there have something called a protective coating, that when you paint over top the screen, when you paint it, your paint actually separates a little bit and that white level is pushed through. That's because there's a coating on there to protect the screen when they go to wipe it down. So in order to get over that application, and I've done this before with silver tickets, you have to put a light coating first and then you apply a heavy coat. And this is best done when the screen is attached to the frame because there's a lot of paint that's going to be pushing back and forth across that surface. Did you also know that when you paint a surface that sometimes the roller can get attached, the edge of the screen, the roller can get attached and it can roll into the roller. It's a whole lot of headache when you do them individually by themselves. I know this because I have experience in that field. You, on the other hand, you don't. So that's a big no-no. This is why anytime I do a demonstration and I build a screen, I put it together on camera and I paint it while it's in the frame, because the screen is going to be slightly smaller than the frame to get it to expand, to stretch nice and tight over the frame. You don't know what you're talking about at the end of the day. The other dumb nonsense, if you paint the screen again, the 5th time, it causes the screen to produce a much more brighter image. That's a complete lie. Unless you have a way of backing that up, that is a complete lie. Your stacking polarization system, another complete lie. Unless you have a way to back it up, it's a lie. Like I said, you have to do a demonstration of your step system. 1, 2, 3, 4, done. 1, 2, 4, done. 1, 2, 3, done. That's how you have to break it down. So that way they'll see if you miss one of those steps, what would be the outcome of the screen's performance if one of the steps are missing. Your screens have to set 2 to 3 minutes for them to level off. So what size screen would have to go 2 to 3? Would it be 100-inch? Would it be 150? Would it be 180? If I have a 180-inch screen, what's the difference between the time set of 180 to the time set of 100, 150, or 100-inch? Because keep in mind, now 100-inch and 150-inch are not going to use the same amount of paint. One's going to use more than the other due to the screen size. You didn't think about that one, did you? Nope. That's another theory that's untested, down the drain. So these are the things, the simple things like that, that have to be tested to see whether this product does what it's supposed to do. At the end of the day, as I showed you in his demonstration, his detailed demonstrations, because I don't like to talk, I like to back it up. And his detailed demonstrations, his screen matched the wall in the theater room. So you went through all this polarization and optimization and the screens marrying each other and your product not being an everyday paint. If I take your product down to a lab and I break it down, I can find out if it's a paint or not. Now, there's ways to find out. So this is the reason why, if you notice, every last one of the shopping carts in his website are sold out. Even the samples are sold out. And we bought these. We bought the samples. As a matter of fact, we bought the paint too. We bought the first one we bought was this is Crows right here. And at the end of the day, we told you when he jumped on it, we didn't know about PARTAY. We didn't know who he was, if he made screen paint. We never heard of him before. We found out about PARTAY the minute Crow started carrying on and acting up. So he jumped on Crow's bandwagon to be a part of Crow to attack us for no reason at all. Man, you don't even know who I am at the end of the day. You just attacked me for the simple fact because Crow attacked me. That's why. And because of this, I told you to mind your own business. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. Leave me be. But you kept coming into my channel. You kept ranting and carrying on and acting up. And you have your little followers coming there talking about, oh, he's afraid of you. No, I'm not afraid of you. At the end of the day, I told you, you don't want to deal with me, man. I'm a businessman. I've been in business for a very long time. People like you are easy to handle. I deal with usually corporations and stuff like that. That's usually something I deal with from time to time. But you little guys in this little pond, oh, please don't play with me on that level, man. You will get crushed in the process. So best that you mind your own business. I was showing you some mercy, but you kept coming into my channel. You kept acting up, and this is your end result of playing around with me and messing around and carrying on. At the end of the day, I told you, I'm a Christian man. My company, my business, everything is with my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Y'all want to talk about my Christianity. You want to joke about my freaking religion with God, all this other nonsense. And look at the outcome of it all. Look at the outcome of it all, messing with a Christian at the end of the day. Just leave me be, leave me alone, and let me go run my business. But the jealousy sets in. You get upset because I'm developing black screens, and I'm doing this and doing that, and y'all can't stand it at the end of the day. But this is your results. I told you, I like to meet the man that can take on God, and I haven't met one yet. All right, so this is where we received from him multiple refunds. As I said before, he even did a video where he actually walked around in his backyard talking about how he placed an order through our company and we canceled it. If we cancel the order, you should have 2 documents. One of your documents should be one from the actual website showing the receipt. And the second one should be from PayPal showing the money was put back in the account. All right, so this is the one for 40. This is the first order we went through. So as I'm going on his website back and forth, we couldn't find any shopping carts open. Every shopping cart was sold out. And this has been like this for a month and 2 weeks, maybe a little more than that, but I said a month and 2 weeks to be fair. After a month and 2 weeks of going back and forth, we figured out he was never going to open the shopping carts after emailing him multiple times, asking when these shopping carts are going to be available. Keep in mind, we have videos that show his shopping carts showing a release date of September the 21st, 2021, which we were way past that point. We were way up in October and November, somewhere in that field. So anyway, after asking him multiple times, getting no reply back when the shopping carts were going to open, we went and purchased this product. We purchased the Vega Plus. That's what we ordered right there, the Vega Plus. And when we ordered the Vega Plus, this is where we contacted them multiple times about our order. Where was it at? Tracking numbers, some kind of information. Nothing came back at all. This is we went to PayPal, requested for PayPal to have them ship the item. We weren't interested in the money. We wanted the product altogether. He had 10 days to basically have the tracking number to us. We know how PayPal works. And this is what happened. He forfeited. He actually put the money back in our account, as you can see, and case was closed because he failed to deliver a product right there from the door. $160, and we got the Vega. All right, later on after that, he opened up at the bottom to be able to buy samples, and we thought this was kind of sketchy because every single paint he has up here is showing sold out, where he has samples available to buy the product. The only problem is I don't know if he delivered on the samples, because at the end of the day, I told you if a customer came in and purchases, two things: if your shopping carts by next week, or actually by next week, should be opened up, that means you got orders that came through off the samples. I don't even know how you would sell out of samples to begin with. It's just confusing here, man, that you don't have enough paint for the product because it's been closed for a month and so forth, but you have enough to make samples, to make my samples. I don't know what you're doing here. You're doing something funny or something doesn't look right. So you're collecting money on samples, but you don't have the actual product available. So if a week goes by and none of these shopping carts open up, two things happen. Either no one bought your product because it's not worth it, or at the end of the day, you just got a lot of people for $20. I don't know how many items you sold, but I know we bought 3 of them from you, and our money was put back into our account. So this is the first one we purchased from him, right there from PARTAY, his website. As I said, very sketchy on the website, but the money was returned back to our account. He returned the money back right away. For someone who talks a lot of trash about my product being this, that, and the other, and as you said before, if I'm supposed to be the scammer, as you and Crow make me out to be, and everything I do is fake from the door, then shouldn't I be an easy person to take on? If your products are like you say they are, if your products are supposed to be so superior to anybody else's, shouldn't my product have been easy overtaken if your products were that good? So why is it here that we have massive refunds from you at the end of the day, and your products are supposed to be so fantastic, so great, better than anyone else's? And my products are supposed to be a scammer. I'm a fake. My products don't work. I should have been the easy opponent to take on. I've never heard anybody in war sit there and say, oh, well, we got two choices. We can take the more experienced war tribe over here that has years and years and years of war history locked up in their database of fighting all different wars, or we could take on this warrior tribe over here. They both have the same resources, that we have more power than them. I think the strategists would choose the warriors that are basically less experienced than the ones that are. Because they know if you go into a battle with a more experienced warrior, you're going to lose. So the best thing is to figure a way how to take it down. And the problem is that we're more experienced warrior. At the end of the day, if you thought that for a minute that your product was going to be able to overtake our product, no, it's not going to happen. And if we're scammers and we're all these things we're supposed to be, we should have been an easier target to take down. It should be my website that should be shut down. It should be I'm the one with canceled orders. I'm the one not backing my product. No, it's vice versa. You guys can't back your work. Now, for those you don't know, this right here is a transaction sheet from the website giving us our money back. Not once, but twice. We went back in and we ordered 2 more, and money was put back into our account. Now, again, like I said, this is a grown man who's walking around in his backyard talking about he placed an order. You're a grown man at that, walking around in your backyard. I placed an order through Crystal Edge, and they canceled. If we canceled, you need to have 2 documents showing we did. And he can present the 2 documents. But We could. Showing your cancellations going right through. Now, we ordered the original paint from you and we ordered your samples. Neither one of them came. And then all of a sudden, interesting, after we ordered the Vega Plus, your shopping cart sold out. So I'm thinking like, okay, did we buy the last one? Which actually rose some other concerns. We were in your shopping cart for about a month and 2 weeks before we were trying to figure out. And I was emailing this guy. Not calling him, emailing, asking him, requesting him to open up the other shopping carts because on your launch date says September the 21st. You never removed it. You removed it now, but we have video recordings showing when it was actually there on the site. You never removed it. So I'm figuring your products have to be available. If you have enough to make samples, you have enough to have a product. That doesn't work. How do you have enough? How do you have enough for samples, but you don't have enough for product? Doesn't make any sense. So we're requesting for certain shopping carts to open up so we get access to them. They don't respond back. So then we go in and we say, okay, we don't have another screen paints there. Let's go buy the only one he has available. We bought this one. We bought the Vega. The Vega's right here. What I have right here, you put the money back in my account. You were afraid to let it ship here. And that money went right back to our account. Now, for them to be able to cover it, save face and go, oh, well, he fought. Are you guys drinking something you're not supposed to be drinking? Because anyone who's done business with PayPal know how PayPal works. When these guys talk, they act like everybody in the world is complete idiots, and they're the only ones that have any form of knowledge of what goes on in the world. Anyone who's done business with PayPal, from a merchant standpoint, knows how it works. You file a complaint on somebody, they give you 10 days. They give you 10 days to give the merchant some time to be able to gather up his resources, provide a tracking number, and ship the item out. Once the tracking number is shown that it has been on its way, the merchant does not have money released back into his account. It's on hold until it shows that the item shows delivery. Once the item is shown delivery, then the money is put back onto the merchant's account. So you have within 10 days to process the order. For you two to come in there like a bunch of clowns and go, he tried to get the money back and so, and he was trying to rush so. No, you had 10 days. And the fact that you could not meet supply and demand in 10 days is pretty pitiful on 1 quarter paint. That's how bad it is. But you guys don't think that way. All right. So, as I said before, we'll check back in a week because I think this right here with and I'm going to call it like it is, PARTAY. This is a scam right here. Because if these items you had here, like say they weren't even available, say we couldn't even buy them. So I couldn't even get a container of this. I couldn't buy a container, which we just did. Say when these weren't available. Say it's available like in a month from now. And you could get right now, you can do a pre-order or you can get a sample of it. And if you get a sample, you like it, then you put your money in for the pre-order. Or like Elite Screens, say if you get a sample sheet of Elite Screen, which you have downstairs, and you like it, you can go buy the actual screen if you want it. But here you have samples that you were giving out, you were selling, because we have the receipts right here showing you were selling them, but you had no open merchandise. All this was still locked. So what were you going to do? Just take people's money at the end of the day and not provide them with the actual product itself? That's why I said we're going to check back in a week, because if anyone placed an order for that sample, one of these shopping carts have to open up in order for them to make that order. Unless you're keeping the shopping carts closed and you're doing PayPal invoice. Yeah, I know about invoices too. I'm a businessman, so I know about invoices. Now, invoice means he doesn't even have to touch the shopping cart, which means at the end of the day, he can have somebody send them their email address. He can set up an invoice through PayPal and he can email them the invoice from there. That's another way you can do it. And if you have to go down that road, what's the point of you having a physical website if you're afraid to open up your product because you're afraid that someone's going to test your product and it won't work? That's what it comes down to. This right here is a symbolize right here that your product has failed. Now, as for the Vega, we were in that shopping cart for a month and 2 weeks, as I said before. No one came in and purchased. There was only one item in stock, and someone had purchased a month within 2 weeks. We wouldn't be able to get our hands on it to begin with if you had one in there. The minute we bought it, that shopping cart automatically went into a sold out. Now, judging by what I've seen already, I think you're actually in the editing page. I think you saw the order go through, and I think you decided to go in and lock that shopping cart to make sure we couldn't get any more paint out of you. That's what happened. Same thing here. We came here and we bought 3 from you. And the minute we bought 3, but the first one, shopping cart didn't lock. Came in and bought 2 more. That's when you realized that I was going to be persistent. I was going to keep coming and buying from you. What would you do? Shut your shopping cart down. You were safer with the samples than with the actual paint. With the actual paint, we get it here. We get 4 of those units. We could break it down. We could do all the things that you were supposed to do in your instructional video that you didn't do. I asked you to back your product up. That was about a month ago. You didn't do that. I asked you to back your product up against black paint. You didn't do that either. I asked you to take your product and stick it against the wall in the theater room because it was matching your theater room wall. You didn't do that one either. But with the sample, I can't break down your product. I can't break down the instructions. I just have the sample, but I can still use it. I can put it against my black screen to see whether or not it can perform against that black screen versus it certifies. All right, so as you can see, this is closed, 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 closed. All shopping carts are locked down, as you can see. I made that statement to you before it got down this road. When your Vega was selling, when your Vega was available, before your sample sheets were available, I sat there and I explained to you simple and plain, man, look, you got the wrong person. I'm not your everyday Joe, buddy. I'm a businessman. I've been in business for a very long time. I have got a chance to fly and meet and all different kinds of people. I have all kinds of experience under my belt. I do. And the one thing I know in business, I know how to handle people and how to deal with them when they become a problem. Because if your product is not what it's supposed to be, and I'm very thorough with my products, and I know I have confidence in my work, I have confidence in my product, I will test your stuff. If I'm not afraid to go against Black Diamond or Elite Screens or DMP Supernova or any of those big companies, what makes you think I would fear you at the end of the day? Your petty little emails that you send to me talking about, oh, I have money. I couldn't care less what you have at the end of the day. I have good attorneys. I have product that can back up and I have evidence. That's all I need to crush you. Your simple products alone. The first thing I do is when I'm studying a company, I study their products. For days, I study their products. I watch their demonstrations, what caliber projectors they're using, how much ambient light they have in the environment, where projectors are positioning, what kind of videos are they using. Everything is being researched when I'm actually studying a company before I go against it. That's what a good army does. It studies the enemy. You don't run into battle not knowing what you're dealing with. And judging by what I've seen from your demonstrations from the door, it only took a couple of minutes to figure out that you were just like the rest of them. You can't back your product. A whole lot of talk on camera, pretty much that's basically about it. In fact, when I saw the demonstration on Facebook of when you had the screen outside, you got all that land out there, all that land to build any size screen you want. You have a screen outside on the same sample sheet that you painted in the demonstration. You paint a screen that's about 3 feet by 4 feet. That's basically about it. That's all you put out there. In the demonstration, your projector showed about 12 feet back. At 12 feet back, your screen would have been an oversplash. You had about a 100-inch screen. The average screen from 100 inches is about 12 to 13 feet. So when you did the demonstration and you fit that screen perfectly, it let me know that you took the zoom and you pushed it all the way down, which means you would have compressed the image much more tighter. That'll give you a much more brighter image. And at 12 feet, you would have been able to maintain that image at that distance because the image was compressed because it was pushed down into the zoom, the lowest position possible. Now, when you went inside and did the demonstration on the 100-inch, you had it around 12 something feet back, and then the image was blown up. It was fitting the screen, which means you had the zoom now pushed all the way up. When you do an outside demonstration, it's something designed to be put on a large scale, especially if you're showing off your product. That's why when we're outside, we're on 150 inches, we're on 180 inches, we're on big, massive screens when we're outside, because we have to show that our products can be displayed on a massive, huge screen outside at a longer distance. The bigger the screen, the farther the projector has to be pushed back. You do know the bigger the screen, the more ambient light the screen has contact with, the faster that screen may have a potential of washing out. And the fact that we have videos of watching Star Wars outside at 6 o'clock in the evening, displaying the screen at 180 inches is quite impressive. I've never seen you and Crow even do that. Even on my introduction video, when you first walk in, the first video that pops up, what does it show? It shows our product being displayed on the screen over 1,000 inches. We don't have anything like that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. You know, let me tell you something. Crow Boys, you can't be called Crow Boys anymore at the end of the day because you're not. Because he threw you under a bus. I told you he's going to change his name to something, and he has to change it back to something that affiliates with paint. I told you, the only way he's got to separate himself from that Cinemax as fast as possible. But you can't separate yourself because there's too much content. We have recorded content. We have re-recorded content of your video demonstrations on that product. I told you, I study everything. Not going to go well. It's not going to go well. I can tell you right in the door. That's why he's separating himself. This is the same product. And this is a wake-up call to you people who support him. This is a fellow who talked all this nonsense about this product. And you guys came into my channel running your mouths, flapping your gums about, oh, it does this and it does that, and so and so and so and so. Just saying stuff for the sake of saying stuff with no test behind it whatsoever. I watch your video demonstrations. Poor. In the dark. Every last one of them. In the dark. Poorly lit environments. Only have using select colors because I know you tried this already. I know you tried to mimic my demonstrations already and your product has failed. I know that. But poor demonstrations in the dark. And here it is. This is a product that he chumped you guys into going in and buying it. You bought this product. And now this is a product he's trying to separate himself from. You know how sad that is? Product you guys supported, saying that the Cinemax is the best screen paint on the market. And this is a product he's trying to separate himself from. So what's going to happen now? You come up with a whole new line of screen paints? Let me explain something to you, Crow. If you come up with a whole new line of screen paints, they still have to be tested. Anything you bring out is going to have to be tested, but even more now, you're still going to have to do the test against black and white paint. Because the fact that you went through these particular measurements to distance yourself from this product, you went through these particular measurements to not do those test demonstrations, and the fact you didn't do any of them to begin with, still leaves that interest of whether or not your product is what it is, because they're not going to buy it at the end of the day if you don't test against black and white paint. If I develop a new black screen tomorrow, guess what? It has to be tested under black paint right there from the door. I can't come out there and go, oh, we got a new product right here, blah, 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 blah. It's darker than the Phantom, so and so and so and so. And I don't test against black paint. It has to be tested. That's why we had those 4 or 5 screen paints, brand new, sitting on top of that shelf. You see any of them on the marketplace? Not one of them. And none of them will end up on the marketplace until all tests are finalized. So I can know 100% that screen does exactly what it does. If I prematurely launch that product, like say a unicorn, and I stick it on the website without any testing whatsoever, and somebody comes against me with a test, I can't go on live and back that thing up. There's no way in the world I can do it because I didn't do the test. There you go. That's why we can do tests live like that. They have to be backed up. So getting back to this fellow right here. So as you can see, every shopping cart is lock, 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 lock. That's the end of the case right there. This is what I find more disturbing, the application. Not only does the application take forever to install into the screen, and I'm not reading through this again. This was something else to read through. You guys read through it. It was something else. But there's an application in there just for basically mixing the paint. Right from the door. You have to basically mix the paint a certain way. Has to be painted on a surface a certain way. The way you have to pour it into a line on the application has to be done a certain way. Pour approximately 3 inches line of formula from the middle of the last section to the middle of the last. Wait, what the freak? Seriously, just to put paint on a surface, you start off with this from the door? That right there is going to be a huge turnoff for a customer. And just the fact that there's an instruction just to pour the paint is a huge turnoff. Right from the door, you lost. I'm like, oh, heck no, I'm not doing this crap. You got some people that have poor attention spans. You got some people that really, at the end of the day, they don't care for instructions. I'm one of those people. I don't really care for instructions. I'll build something for the fact that I'll look on the side of the box and build it from there. Because I don't feel like reading through step 1, step 3, from step 4. Oh, heck no, I don't want to go through that nonsense. Put it together and be done with it at the end of the day and be happy. But you start from the door with these complicated instructions. So the first minute, I'm going to take your instructions and I'm going to put it on a survey and see how many people would actually paint this screen, actually reading through the instructions. And I guarantee you, they won't. These are your first instructions right from the door. Stir the formula very, very well, including from side to side at the bottom 5 to 10 minutes. Stirring time will serve you well. Then it goes, lightly stir again each coat. Between each coat you can between each coat, let me see right here, blah, 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 lightly stir between each coat, light between each coat. So keep in mind that as they're painting the screen on with the multiple applications that they're going to put on, they have to stir between each coat. You missed that twice in your demonstration, your own demonstration. You missed that twice. You made multiple mistakes in your own demonstration. Right here, prep 2. Ensure your screen surface is laying flat on a flat surface. If on a frame, remove your surface and ensure that it is laying flat. Visualize. Here we go. This is where the madness begins. Visualize your screen in 3 sections, left, middle, and right. For an example, see graphics at the bottom of the page. See graphics at the bottom of the page. I literally had to go to a bottom of the page to see graphics to see how to pour paint onto a surface of a screen. You see the madness in that one right there? Oh, wait. We're going to read a little bit of this. Let me get myself ready for this one. Application steps. Carefully move the formula around the screen to ensure the screen is fully covered with the formula. I said carefully, so as not to slosh it off your screen. Note, fully covered does not mean that the coat will look even. To the contrary, it will not. Now, mind you, usually when dealing with customers, they want fast results, especially if they spent money for something and they're unsure about it. So if they buy a product, they automatically are unsure about it. They want fast results. They want to see something there that is going to click to show that they're actually doing it right and they're not messing it up. Their first step reaction, if they see that paint being sloshed around like that and it's paint not taken to the surface, it's just moving around, they're going to flip right there from the door. That's an automatic reaction right there. You can't expect everybody to react the same way you're going to react. That's one thing when you make product. If you're expecting everybody to react the way you're going to react, not going to happen at all. I had a customer one time actually it was 1 coat application. He put 2 coats and he thought he damaged the screen by putting 2 coats on. So that's where you have to basically make it easy. I'm not saying that people are idiots at the end of the day, just make it easy. I myself do not want to look at complicated instructions. If I'm building a couch, I want it to be as simple as possible. We got 4 legs, this, that, and the other, I'm done. I don't want to be sitting there thinking whether or not did they misplace my instructions or an atom smasher at the end of the day. I want something simple. Even though I can build just about anything I want, at the end of the day, I want simple instructions. The freaking barbecue grill that I built in the backyard about a year ago, my goodness, are you freaking kidding me? A freaking barbecue grill, pit grill, one of the big steel ones with the meter on the top. Are you kidding me? I thought I was actually doing freaking reconstruction heart surgery for the Tin Man when I was putting that thing together. Are you kidding me? That thing was a nightmare to put together. When I finally got it all together, I was like, well, at least I don't have to worry about doing that one again because I memorized it. But yeah, everybody wants easy. They want something that can be done fast and easy. When we do this demonstration, I painted a brick the other day. You see that demonstration? In the middle, painted a border, decided to go outside, grab me a dirty brick and turn the brick to a screen. We shouldn't use it in the demonstration anyway. All right, let's keep going. I understand you Crow boys are going to comment. You're going to be very upset. And this is normal. You're not, at the end of the day, let me explain something to you. When you come in here and you're upset and you rant like that, it doesn't bother me today. Like I said, I'm a businessman. This is nothing. This doesn't bother me. In the end, it shows your reaction, how you're dealing with it. Because if you know, I'm not going, oh my goodness, he said something hard. You don't hear me doing that. I'm talking to you normally. You're the one, a grown man or grown woman in your home, typing on your keyboard, your cell phone, sending insults. You're the child at the end of the day. And it's even sad if you have kids. If you have kids and you get up in the morning, you're trying to tell your kids and trying to correct them when you're doing dumb stuff like this at the end of the day. Think about that one for a minute. All right. So anyway, let's move on. So let's go through these instructions real quick. So anyway, as you can see right here. All right, we already looked at that part. Now, starting. I got to take a deep breath for this one. You ever did the Peter Pecker, pick the pecker or whatever? We're going to be in that range right here in about a few minutes. Starting on either side of your screen, apply a small amount of pressure, rolling bottom to the top of the screen in one full moving. I said one line moving. Gotta make sure we get this right. Line moving to the next line beside where you previously rolled ended. Repeat across the screen. You figure that one out. That's not for me to figure out for you. All right. Now we have repeat step 1 and 3 at least 4 times. If desired, a 5th coat, simply reapply the step. So you have to do that 4 times. Question. Say the screen requires 4 applications. This is a building process, right? Now say your daughter comes downstairs and she goes, your screen looks like a giant coloring board. I'm gonna take my markers over there and I'm gonna mark your screen up. Or your dog decides to I don't know, whatever dogs do or cats do. I know my cat, man, I told you, I watched my cat run, jump off the sofa, and springboard off one of my acoustic screens. I mean, if he damages that, I have to rebuild the entire screen all over again because it's an acoustic surface. Where if it's painted, it's done. But that screen's not acoustic, so it's different. So if your kids draw on your screen, and I had an incident where a guy, basically his kids decided to draw on the screen, mark the screen up. He was all upset. He was wondering how to fix it. I was like, man, look, just take the paint and just, you're done. It's going to dry right into the screen evenly with no problem. And that's what he did. But if you have a 4 application system, that means you're going to have to do that process all over again, or you're just going to do that process on that particular surface. But if that surface requires for the surface to dry evenly, it wouldn't be an even surface if you just paint the middle again. That means you would have an extra 4 coats on a surface that already has an extra 4 coats. You see what kind of stuff you got yourself into? This is what I talk about. When people make complicated instructions, bad idea. Because people like me will come in and we will break the daylights out of your freaking, we'll break your system in a minute. I've already broken your system that fast. So if someone kid comes down and marks up the screen, right? You're saying it's washable. Is it washable? Is there any demonstrations of you showing you kids marking the screen with markers and whatever crap? At the end of the day, you can have a screen outside. You can have Frank who's drunk from drinking too many Budweisers, hands is covered in mustard. What kind of surface is this? There you go. I've seen dumb stuff like that happen. It happens. And if you have a screen outside, you run the risk of one of the little toddlers running around and marking your screen, or a dog peeing on it. It's something's going to happen in the day. I got a screen outside, skunks and everything else hit that screen. At the end of the day, I come outside, take a hose, spray it down. Skunks spray my screen all the time when they sit out there. They want to spray them when they get out there. So yeah, you're going to have some wear and tear and damage to it. So the thing about it, how easy is it for you to repair it? So can you go out there and just go, done? Or do you have to do that same process all over again? Now, what you explained in your demonstration, it takes for the screen to settle 2 to 4 minutes to dry evenly, right? And if you're putting 1 coat, dry evenly, 2nd coat, dry evenly, and so forth till you hit the 4th, then that means that's 4 even coats. If your screen gets damaged and you have to apply a surface there, do you go through the same process? Do you put 1, 2, 3, 4? Go through the same 3-step process to repair the marking or whatever may happen on your screen? Or do you have to repaint the entire screen all over again? Because technically, when you think about it, that one particular spot's going to have 8 coats attached to it because it's a 4-step system on top of a 4-step system. You didn't think about that, did you? Oh, I would love to get you into a forum site. PARTAY, I would love to invite you with a forum site with a bunch of my freaking comrades so we can sit down and break down your demonstration for you in front of you. You wouldn't like that environment. These are all experts in the field. All that mumbo jumbo you talk on camera, they would laugh at you all day on there. Back it up. That's the first thing. Back it up. Back it up. You can't back that up. So you're going to have to repaint the screen because at the end of the day, you're not going to get the same even. It's not going to be even because you're going to have 8 coats in one section. We had to repair the screen, and the rest of the screen is going to have 4. Does that affect the outcome of the screen? Have you done those tests yet? See, haven't been done yet. There you go. This is just a bunch of mumbo. Until you get these tests done, all of them, as I'm explaining to you, I'm going to write these all down for you. Until you get all these tests done, figure out what they can figure out on their end. Until you get all these tests done, backing this out, the outcomes or pros or cons of doing this correctly and non-correctly, it's just going to show an effect to the screen. Is it going to basically cause an effect when it comes to colors or contrast or white levels? How is it going to affect the lumens on the projector? Because you can have certain formulas that don't blend well. They could come up too dark where lumens don't even pick up correctly on it. It might not work at a projector of 1,000 lumens. It may pick up one on 1,500 lumens. How does it work outside? On a larger scale, if you miss any of those applications, mind you, the same applications you apply inside, you got to do it again for outside too. You know that, right? Oh, you thought it was going to be easy. You can just make the paint, throw a bunch of mumbo jumbo underneath of it, don't back anything up and sell it. No, it don't work that way. I'm sorry. Just you have to back it up. So what happens at the end of the day? So 2 to 3 minutes a set. This is what I'm talking about. I keep saying 2 to 3 minutes a set. Is posted right here. Your screen right here, feel free. Each coat has to sit for 2 to 3 minutes for the application to settle. He has it right there. So, and I know his instructions better than him. That's how I know his instructions literally better than him. He messed up and the demonstrator did it. But anyway, long story short. So what happens in repair? Do you have anything in there for repair? Is the screen gets damaged? You don't, do you? All right. I didn't think so. All right, so let's get back to these instructions right here. All right, so we already got repeat step 1, 2, 3, 4 times. You can add a 5th coat as desired. Now, what he says in this video is completely what he has here. On this video, he says if you add a 5th coat, the screen will actually be able to produce a higher gain, a much brighter image, which means you'll be able to use it in a much more brighter environment. Do you have a demonstration on that alone? Can you show us a demonstration of one with a 5th coat and one with actually 4, showing the difference of which one produces a higher level than the other one? Do you have that at all, period? I'm pretty sure you don't have the demonstration. It's just basically just talk. All right, let me see. Now, let's see what we have here. All right, let's see. Okay, feel free to use a fan to assist in drying time. So right here it says repeat step 1, 2, 3, so on. So 4 times. So something. Make sure we got this correct here. We got it right here. All right, feel free to use a fan to assist in drying time, but allow each coat to sit for 2 to 3 minutes. Now, this alone right here can get you in a whole lot of trouble. You know why? 2 to 3 minutes. Which sides of the screen will apply to 2 to 3 minutes? Will it be a 100 inch, 180 inch, 140 inch, 150 inch, 128? One of them odd sizes, 235.1, 239.1, because their settings are different. 235 and 239.1, you're talking about screens of 138, 158, 178, 115. Those sizes are odd numbers. You get 1610, which I just found out was 128, which I got to study those right there from the door. But anyway, so what are we getting at here? Because what screen size actually applies to 2 to 3 and what size screen? Because keep in mind, 100 inch and 180 inch are not going to use the same amount of paint. One's going to use more than the other. So one's going to require more of time when it comes to the screen to settle. What is the settlement time on a screen of 180 inches? What's the settlement time of a screen of 120 inches? What's the settlement time of a screen of 150 inches? It's not going to be 2 to 3 minutes. There's no way in the world a screen of 100 inches is going to dry the same time a screen of 180 inches. Not going to happen. The drying time on 180 inches is going to be longer because it's going to be using more paint. So what is the settle time on that? Did you do the research on that before you actually put that down? You didn't. That right here alone gets you in a whole lot of trouble on a forum site because they're going to ask you that question. When you go to get a contract from a company and a company brings you down to the facility, these are the questions I'm asking you right now that they're going to ask you. You think they're going to sign your name to a 10-year contract, dump a whole bunch of money into your banking account and not ask you any of these questions to begin with? You're going to be asked all kinds of questions, so you better be able to back your product. And right here, as you can see, you have nothing here. You just have 2 to 3. That's not going to apply the same. If you do a 100 inch, judging by the surface that you painted, that small little surface, you should have did an official 100 inch screen when you did your demonstration. So you can start off from there. At least that would give you an understanding of exactly if you were to calculate 130 or 140 or 50, you did the drying time. Do you know how I know how many coats of paint it takes to paint a screen? I had literally, every time I paint a screen, I have to paint it quart by quart. I paint them quart by quart because then I know exactly how many quarts approximately it takes to paint that size screen. That's how I know how much the 48s do. Because we did the 48s, we just ran through a bunch of screen styles. We did a 100 inch, we did a 92, we did a 35. See exactly how much paint it would take to exhaust that container. You don't do that at all, period. You don't do that at all. All right, let's move out of there real quick. This right here, he got, like I said, I would do the test for him. And we got that product down here. Oh, heck yeah, I would do all those tests. Everything I just told you, I would do those tests with no problem whatsoever. That's the reason why he's not opening the shopping carts, because that's a bunch of bull. All right, let's get down here at the bottom right here where he says, all right, you have heard us say that PARTAY, this part doesn't make any sense. Coating are not a paint. Paint generally cures rather quickly. Now, I would rather just go with the paint. Let me get this straight. So the paint has a faster drying time than your product. I would rather just go with the paint at the end of the day. And that means I can paint the screen and dry it and be done in about 30 minutes, but enough to pop the popcorn and have the kids come over and everybody enjoy the movie, open up my projector and set it up. I would rather have the paint instead. Why would I go with a product like G? Let me get this straight. So the paint dries in 30 minutes, right? And how long does this dry? 5 to 7 days. I'll take the paint. This is basic common sense. I don't even know what you were thinking with that one. You just downgraded your product for house paint. So you're saying right here, you said coatings are not a paint. Paint generally cures rather quickly. Our coating will continue to cure over about a period of 5 to 7 days. Were you drunk when you put that one in? Because I can excuse that for being drunk, intoxicated, twisted, bent, whatever, tore up from the floor up in the basement is where I threw up. I could accept that. You just downgraded your product for house paint. So keep in mind that Digital Crystal Screen Paint is a house paint. That's what it is. That product would dry in 30 minutes with the fan. Larger is screen depending on the size of the screen. So that's what it says on our site. 30 minutes with the fan depending on the size of the screen. And you watch me paint big screens, and so you know my drying time on screens, but you just downgraded your product to paint because paint is going to paint dry in about 10 to 20 minutes. It'll paint probably about 100 inch, about 10 to 20. We'll do that easily. And your product is going to dry in 5 to 7 days. Right there it says coating, or it says partays are not a paint. Not a paint. He says right here, not a paint. Paint generally cures rather quickly. Our coating continues to cure over a period of 5 to 7 days. I would rather go with the paint at the end of the day. Who in the right mind is going to sit there and look at their projector in the box and go, well, we can't use the projector right now because the screen takes 5 to 7 days to paint. Sorry, to dry. It's still curing. So curing means it's liquid actually coming from the screen. When you paint a screen, it's dry to the touch, but there's actually a liquid that's still coming from the screen. That takes time to dry. Everyday paint dries faster than that. You gotta wait 5 to 7 days. All right. And now it gets more complicated than that. 5 to 7 days, your screen will begin to, it says 5 to 7, it will dry. Your screen will begin, you're separate from the different separate. Now 5 to 7 days to dry, now we're starting off new. Your screen will begin to settle into its final appearance within the first 2 to 3 days. Partay, Danny, let me explain something to you. This is a huge nightmare for your customers. You know why? What size screen? Yeah, we pointed out what size screen. You do know, like I said, at the end of the day, a screen of 100 inch and a screen of 180 inch are not going to take the same paint. One's going to take more than the other. So since it's going to take more, that means the drying time for the 180 inch is going to be a little longer than the screen of 100 inch. Even if you use a fan, it's a bigger screen, it's more paint to cover. So if you're talking about 5 to 7 days, where is 5 to 7 days is a minimum of what screen? Is it the minimum of 100 inch? Because you didn't have 100 inch in the display. You had a smaller screen in display. What is the drying time for a 100 inch screen? Max, let's see, if I wanted to do 100 and 200 inch screen, what's the drying time for a 200 inch screen? If it's 5 to 7 for 100, what the heck would it be for a screen that is 200 inches? Oh, people don't think that. There you go. Companies will ask that question. Anybody who's been in the business as long as I have, right? People that you're going to ask that question. They're drawing 5 to 7. So what if my screen's bigger than where does it start off at 5 to 7? What screen starts up at 5 to 7? Is that a 100 inch, 120 inch? Where does that start off with? And where does it end at? What if I want to do a bigger screen? How much time is that going to take? If it's 5 to 7, how long would it be with a 200 inch? You're saying that settling to the final appearance takes 2 to 3 days. Again, question's going to pop up. How big of a screen? If I'm doing a screen of 180 inches, 2 to 3 days for the screen to settle. That's not going to be the same for a screen of a bigger size. It's going to be longer. If it takes longer for it to dry, it's going to take longer for it to settle. So if you're talking about 2 to 3 days for a 100 inch, and I want to do a 130 inch, are we talking about we're going to be 4 to 6? Are we going to be doubling that by 2? Because if it's 4 to 6 days to wait for a screen to settle, and then I have to wait an additional 10 to 14 days, because we're doubling it now, for that, no, ain't going to happen. Not going to happen. Now today I got to go paint a 150 inch screen in my basement right now today because I'm doing the floor projection screen setup again. A company saw that they like it. They want to see more displays on it. We're going to be doing a demonstration on that because they got some other ideas we're going to use with this formula. But we're going to be doing one today. Can you imagine me painting a 150 inch screen downstairs, 4 applications on the screen, and I got to wait 2 to 3 minutes for the screen to settle? for each one to dry. And then I got to wait an additional 2 to 3 days for the screen to settle, which means I can't do the demonstration right off the bat from the door, which means my customer is going to have to wait an additional 2 to 3 days for that to go through. And then for the screen to officially dry, that's just for it to settle, just for the settle. Just for the screen to officially dry, I got to wait an additional 5 to 7 days. So I can't do a demonstration right away. That's virtually impossible. Which means if you did any paint on demonstrations, it means you lied also too. There's another thing we caught you in. If you do any demonstration where you paint your screen in, and you did that within past the time period of the 5 to 7, that means you lied about the 5 to 7. It doesn't really take 5 to 7. You can never do a paint on demonstration. Like we can come in, even Crow can do that. He can come and do a demonstration, paint the screen and show the screen reaction time. He just wants to show certain things, but he'll show the screen. You can't do that because you have to wait an additional 5 to 7 for your screen to actually dry. You can't use it. What does it say at the bottom? Because of this, it recommend that you, because you have to wait the time, whether they recommend that you not wipe or clean the screen surface until its first week. All right, so the first week you can't clean it or anything, but can you use it? Now the screen is still, if it's still curing, that means there's going to be wet spots in the screen. Wet spots in the screens, is that going to affect hot spotting on the screen? Because if the screen's wet, it's going to give us this really blurring kind of high-end kind of hot spotting on the screen. Just so many questions with that alone. It's not even funny. So what happens in between that time of that period where the screen is settling? What if someone touches it or damages? Because stuff happens in the process. Can you paint over that particular section, but you still have to do the four-screen application because that's what's needed to paint the screen? All right, you guys, I'm not going into that. That's a whole nightmare on its own. There's the example screen if you want to see that. That's how you have to paint it. So you have to start from here to here. And the demonstration, you mentioned the paint pan. Now I'm going to show you 3 times in the demonstration. I'm going to watch your demonstration. You watch it yourself. But I'll show you 3 times in the demonstration where he messed up on his own instructions because his instructions were that complicated. You might just yank this video down and be done with it. You might just yank it down. And he got mad one time. He said, some dumb nonsense. Send me some email talking about man, you and your lawyer can go take a hike somewhere. Because my lawyer, I poured it to my attorney and started laughing. Please do. Invite me. Please. I'll clean your clock at the end of the day. Don't play with me, Partay. Let me explain something to you. You ain't got a leg to stand on. He got mad because I played his voice. At dumb. The minute you freaking take a YouTube video and you broadcast your voice on it and you make it public for everyone to hear, guess what? There you go. Good gracious, man. I would like to meet your crackerjack lawyer, please. So let me see what's going on here. Tell me exactly where he got it. If he passed the bar to actually get a real, he can call me if he wants to. You got my number. Have him call me. I would like to talk to him.
Hi, folks. Danny here at Partay. So tonight I have Miss Kelly with me. She's going to be painting a screen for us. So I have
Now, I like the fact that he did have his wife paint the screen. He didn't do it, okay? That's good. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I got demonstrations of people painting screens. I've done screens. Like I said, I've got demonstrations of Choke a Horse. But for the first time he had his wife paint the screen, this is an average person, never painted a screen in her life or whatever. This is good. This shows that the everyday person can do it. But you have to understand, he's instructing her as he's doing it, which he should not be doing. He should be painting his own screen or he should be recording it and let her do the whole thing without any of the instructions whatsoever. Because keep in mind, you're not going to be there in your customer's house to point out what they need to do. There you go.
a few things that I want to talk about first, specifically about the surface.
Now, let me see. This is going to paint a screen size of 100 to 120 inches. What if the customer wants to paint a screen bigger than this? The point about screen paint, the luxury of screen paint is you can go as big as you want without it costing you a lot of money. So if you go with a 100-inch screen by Elite Screen, a Dark Star 9, it's $3,000 for 100-inch. If you want to go higher than that, it's going to cost you a couple $1,000s more. The beautiful thing about screen paints is screen paints can usually do a 100-inch to 120-inch. So you have that option to go bigger without it costing you more money. So what if the customer wants to do bigger than 120? He wants to do 150 to 180. How does this application apply? That means everything's going to have to be done completely different, which means for each one of these demonstrations, depending on if you're going to do a screen size of 100-inch to 180-inch being your maximum size, as big as you're going to go, you're going to have to do this application that many times on the actual official size of the screen. See what I'm getting at here? All right.
and then we'll talk about the actual mix. This surface, it's hard to tell because it's got a sheen to it. I coated it with a white gloss. That's just the only white I have in the house, so I use what I have. But it's got a lot of texture, really thick, gloppy paint. You're used to hearing the whenever people are rolling it, right? So the formula is not going to be like that. You will see how it works. But I just wanted to tell you that if we have a surface that has a good bit of texture on it, and you'll be able to pick up that texture.
Now, what he should have did when he did the demonstration, if the surface had any text, he should have just got some basic wall putty and did a thorough demonstration. If you have any form of nicks or lines on your wall, take a little putty, go over those surfaces, sand it down, and then basically add a primer and paint over top of it if desired, if required. That's what he should have did. I would not have painted the surface. It was already damaged. Now, I've done things where I painted surface that little small nicks in the here and there, but if his product being as thin as he says it is, there's no way in the world he's going to be able to fill in any cracks or areas on the screen that's going to pop up because his product's not thick enough to coat those particular areas to fill up those spots because the area is too thin. It's the equivalent of painting with oatmeal and milk, if you think about it. If you paint the screen with milk, it's not going to cover up any form of lines and cracks you may have in the screen, where oatmeal is going to fill in everything. It's going to act like a plaster.
Whenever we do our display, and the reason for that is because this formula acts as a skin. It's very thin. You're going to do very thin layers. You're going to do 4 thin layers.
You're not going to do 4 thin layers. But anyway, let me get back to this. It's like goose grain. If you ever painted a goose grains when they came out was like water. It's very thin. That's why a lot of the demonstrations, if you look back in the days on ABS forums, a lot of people were posting demonstrations of sanding their walls. Days of sanding their walls down. They get that perfect flat surface to apply the goose grain, because it had to be applied on a surface that had no form of imperfections, because that would pull up through your screen, because the surface solution was very thin.
And it's all going to be okay. I promise you. You're going to see your first roll is going to be the ugliest paint job you've ever done, probably.
And that's something that customers don't want to see. At the end of the customers want to see results right from the door. If you're putting together a couch and that thing starts to look like a medieval torture rack at the end of the day, and then somehow it evens out to turn out to what it was to look like on the box, in between the middle of that, if not, it's not looking like it was supposed to, like, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to walk away from that. Some people won't even finish it. No, I'm done. Oh, no, I'm done.
In your life, so don't worry about it. That's good. That's fine. You'll see as we go through this that this is not about being a master. This formula has been designed to make it very easy for you to do, where you pretty much have to try to screw it up, maybe just do some finger painting in there. I can't guarantee against that, but this should be fairly easy. All right, so first thing.
Now, you said try to screw it up. So if you put in a 4-coat application into this, that's where you have to do the demonstration showing 1, 2, 3, 4, final, done, 1, 2, final, 1, 2, 3, final. What happens if a customer misses to put one of those applications in? Say they make a mistake, they forget. I mean, stuff happens. You could be painting the screen and your kids could be carrying on in the background. Somebody could come to the door, you get a phone call, whatever. You could come back, get into a whole entire conversation, come back and forget exactly what you were doing. You couldn't remember how many coats you put in. It happens. This is the stuff you have to count into it. You have to count all these scenarios have to be counted into the equation, because at any given time it can happen. It's happened to me multiple times when I'm working on something and I'll get a phone call and I'll get to that phone call and I'll come out like, what the freak was I supposed to be doing? So and so and so, or whatever. And I start working on something completely different. Everybody does it. So you have to put that in that equation. So if that person comes back and they forget and they go, oh, they remember at the last minute, oh shoot, I only put in like 3 in here and I didn't put the other one. There you go. What happens? Is it going to change the outcome of the performance of the screen? That's why you have to have that done.
Things you want to remember is when you open up the product, you want to stir it very well, okay? And what you want to do is you want to make sure you stir the bottom. Almost, I do mine in a checkered pattern. I kind of go one direction from side to side and then, the other way, side to side. And I'll do that a few times, and then make sure that you get around your edges so that you don't have stuff that's just stuck to the edges. Now, this over time, probably by the time you would receive it, it's going to look like it does when we mix it. But over time, He
messed up in his own instructions right there. He just said when you get it, you have to stir it, right? He never said that every time you paint it, you have to do a light stir. The reason why you have to do a light stir for each time you paint it, because the product has distilled water in it. You know what happens when you put water in paint? Usually contractors, like I said, at the end of the day, some, not saying all of them, but some contractors, in order to make the paint stretch a little bit more, they'll add something in it that's not actually paint, like water, to stretch it a little bit more. All right. So I'm not saying all of them do it, but some people have done it. I've worked with some contractors that have done it a few times. I had a contractor put milk into white paint one time, literally milk. But anyway, that's what do this sometimes. And when you put a substance in a product that's not supposed to be there, because I'm pretty sure whoever made the paint, like, let's put water in this and see what happens. There's a reason why there's not water in it, because water's not meant to put in there. You put something in, it's not supposed to be put in there. And if you put an item in there that's not supposed to be put in there, it's going to cause the chemical to react differently, which means it could cause separation, because it was not meant to be there to begin with. But let's move on.
You will have some separation there that could occur, and that's going to be because we use a combination of a distilled water with something we designed here. The polymers in it are heavier. It's going to fall to the bottom over time.
Polymers are going to fall over time regardless. If you have a product that has a 5-year shelf, like you go in your garage and you got to open up a can of paint, you'll see whatever original formula they put in there. So when they mix your paint, they may drop red or blue or whatever to get it to react to whatever color. You got to pop them on your lid, you'll see a light, thin, liquid red or whatever they put in there to mix your product, because it will separate and you have to remix it down through time. All paint's going to do that regardless. It's going to do it regardless. Nothing new. But it shouldn't do it right away. Like, you shouldn't have to, like, that's just something that happens over a period of time. Like, I mean, I'll say about 2 or 3 days, 4 days, you might have a separation issue may pop up and they just stir it up, but not something's going to happen right in front of you. That's craziness right there. The only time something's going to happen right in front of you, that's just something that's supposed to be in there. Like, if you put oil and a water base together, yeah, you're going to see that separation real quick, real fast.
So your water will kind of rise to the top and separate. That water is really only there as a delivery vehicle for the product.
All right. You just said delivery vehicle for the product. What exactly is a delivery vehicle for the product? What does a delivery vehicle do? Why is it there? You have to break that down. So if you're putting something in there, you're saying it's a delivery vehicle. What is the purpose of putting water in the paint? What does that do? I say all it does is basically just thin the product down, so you have a different product than Crows, because Crows is going to be a little thicker. You can say yours is a little thinner. Yours has a different kind of application. It's not a paint at the end of the day. Technically, it is a paint at the end of the day. It's just a paint with water in it. That's it. It's still paint. If I put milk in my paint and I thin it out, at the end of the day, it's still paint.
Because it's going to evaporate. What Kelly's going to do is I'm going to instruct her on how to get started. And the way that we're going to get started is, think of this as your full screen. I usually break mine into thirds. So you would have 3 areas. There's actually 2 kind of divots in this thing. You can see one over here and then the one here. But we'll break it into thirds. What I usually do is run, for this size panel, we're just going to run like a little 2-inch. If I'm doing a full screen, I'm probably going to run about a 3 to 4 inch, maybe 3 inch, start with 3. You can always pour a little more if you want to do it that way. You can use a rolling pan. The thing is I wouldn't use more than a rolling.
You already just said you can use a rolling pan. If you can use a rolling pan, you do not have to paint a line in the center of your screen. Because if you use a rolling pan, we're going to paint a line in the center of your rolling pan and then take that application and then paint that to your screen. That'd be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because officially you have to paint the line here. So if you use a rolling pan, why would you need to paint the line when you can just use a rolling pan and just apply it to the screen?
The thing is I wouldn't use more in a rolling pan than what you plan to do in one coating. And I'll explain that as more in a rolling pan than what you plan to do in one coating. Maybe 3 inch, start with 3. You can always pour a little more if you want to do it that way. You can use a rolling pan.
You can use a rolling pan. If you can use a rolling pan, you don't have to apply that nonsense to the center of the screen. You just put it in the rolling pan and just apply it to the screen. He said, we're going to go a little bit more into this. He never talked about it after that. Because right after that, you can hear in his voice where he made a mistake. He knew he made a mistake in that demonstration when he said it, because he just thought about it. If you could use a rolling pan, why would you need to go to the detailed instructions of pouring a line in the center of your screen, starting from here to there, if you could basically just put it in a pan and just transfer it to the screen? Are you going to take the line and put the line in the rolling pan and then paint it over? That doesn't make any sense.
The thing is, to do it that way, you can use a rolling pan. The thing is I wouldn't use more in a rolling pan than what you plan.
Right there. See, there. He thought about it for a minute. He made a mistake. Because if you can use a rolling pan, you wouldn't have to use that.
What you plan to do in one coating. And I'll explain that as we can use a rolling pan. The thing is I wouldn't use more in a rolling pan than what you plan to do in one coating. And
it's interesting, like I said, even when I listen to people when they speak, I break down how they talk, how they explain themselves. I listen to Crow, how he explains stuff. He doesn't know anything what he's talking about. Literally, doesn't know what he's talking about at all. He explains no form of physics or science or anything behind anything he does. You explain to like, yo, what's the difference between distance throw and ultra short throw and long throw? How does it affect? What's the travel throw? How much light you have per square inch? He don't say anything like that. He just says, well, here's a screen and we have it right here. And you know what you mean, so. Are you kidding me? Like, there's no form of education behind what he's speaking. It doesn't come out that way. You have to be to break it down. That happens when you cut corners. He would know how to, not say anything about his English is good. It's okay, but I'm just saying, but if you cut corners, you can't educate yourself. If you can't educate yourself, you can't speak this knowledge because you don't know anything about it because you're too busy cutting corners. But if you educate yourself and you basically take the time to do the research and study and crack books to figure out why it's reacting the way why it's doing, you can explain the knowledge that you learn to other people. But they can't do that because they're too busy cutting corners. And when you cut corners, you learn nothing at all. Nothing but mistakes and regrets, which you're learning now.
I'll explain that as we go, okay? So the easiest thing to do is Kelly right now, I've instructed her, she's going to run.
Mind you what it says right here. And it says 3-inch, right? Listen what he says. Listen what he says.
About a 2-inch wide strip from this
2-inch, and it's a 3-inch. I told you. And when your instructions are so complicated that I, the person who developed the screen paint, can't remember what the freak out my instructions are, that's not good. Can you imagine you sitting there in class in college and they're explaining to you basically the how an atom smasher actually functions and works? I'm obsessed with atom smashers. How it functions and works, and you're reading through this guy's notes and you're following him, blah 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 blah. And somewhere in his lecture, he made like 20 or 30 mistakes, like he was completely wrong, and he had to look it up. And he's on his phone. That'll freak you out at the end of the day. I'm paying for this class. That'll freak you out. He doesn't even know his own instructions.
Center of the first one to the center.
I know your instructions better than you. Honestly, I do. I memorize your instructions. I know them better than you. And I've read them about 3 times. It's not even my product. Now watch this. What happened to the lightly stir? You're supposed to lightly stir this for each time. So he missed 2 of these lightly stir applications. If you notice when he shows up the screen, he never mentions that. Well, look, we missed 2 lightly stirs, but at the end of the day, it's really not going to affect the screen all that much. It's not a must. You put it in as it was a must, which shows that half of the instructions are probably not even needed. At the end of the day, like I said, a PARTAY, if your product was available, I would go to Home Depot. I'd make your first coating, and I would paint the first coating first. I wouldn't even apply the rest of the instructions, and I would take the other one and put all 4 instructions in. I guarantee you it won't show no difference.
There you go. Just keep going. There you go.
And you see how thin it is? That's just what happens when you put water in paint. We want to do that today. I'm going to show you what happens. It doesn't have to be distilled water. It can be any water. That's what happens. You thin the paint out so you get more coverage off of it. The only problem is it actually weakens the coating on the paint. It does. It doesn't actually, it doesn't do quite well of covering the surface that well.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay.
Now right here, he got a wide. That's more than 3 right here. And that looks about 2 right there. So not everybody's going to be able to pour that down correctly like that. Some people are going to be a little more heavy-handed. That's like something like when you go to the lunch lady, or put it this way, depending on who works that day at the lunch lady. We all know this one already. Depends on if you get more or less on your plate. You know how that works, right? So even if it's your job, if you're going down to the diner and the person serving, you know, if big man is there that day, big man gonna make sure you fed well. He gonna put the servings on because he like, that's how he like to eat. But you get somebody on there that really don't eat like that, they gonna put them little servings on. Like, man, really seriously, really, you want to wait till big man gets down there. Because I had this one guy, man, he was heavy-handed when he was a server. I love going down there to his lunch truck when he was working. That's when I went there. That's when I tipped that $20, $30 at the door, because I knew when big man came in, man, I made sure my plate was stacked. So I knew when I went out of there, he walked up with $30 tip. I walked there with a whole bunch of what do you call it? Some things called, I love them, jerk chicken. Oh my goodness, I love freaking Jamaican food so freaking much. Man, I love Jamaican food. That curry goat, man, that jerk chicken, man. Oh my goodness, you put some of that sweet baby Ray's on it, man. I don't even freaking exist anymore. Oh, I gotta call some people right now. I got another few Jamaicans I know I'm cool with. I gotta call them. I didn't think about that for a while. I asked them how they doing. Like, look, man, I'll do you a favor, man. I give you $50. Go down, put this on the truck. Go down and get me some sweet baby Ray's and hook me up. I'm gonna get some of that today. I need some of that today. I was thinking about that today. Some jerk chicken, because my sister's her husband's Jamaican. Oh man. Damn, I'm hungry now. Some chicken. Want some jerk chicken. But anyway, let's move on. Anyway.
Now, you can actually take your brush and brush that up the side if that happens. Where you have a little roll on the container. There you go.
Oh, wait, today's Monday. I got to be out of the house today. Woo-hoo-hoo! Oh, time to get geared up. Oh, I got gear, man. I want some nice gear. I'm going to get geared. I'm going out. I'm going to do some shopping. I'm going to the Jamaican store. I'm getting myself some jerk chicken. I'm going to get $40 worth of jerk chicken. I'm stopping at the supermarket. I'm going to get me a gallon of Sweet Baby Ray's. I'm going to put all that in the air fryer. Oh, my goodness. You might not hear from me for the next couple of days. I'm sorry, Mr. Bird's going to be missing in action. Y'all forgot about that. I got to be out and about today. I got blood work today at LabCorp. I love that, man. LabCorp. What you getting blood work for, Mr. Bird? Can't tell you, but I can tell you it involves some crazy stuff. That's all I can say. Mr. Bird might be to retire soon.
Now you just want to go ahead and get to it. And what you want to do, the goal here is to cover the surface. You're not trying to get a pretty roll, like you're rolling a wall in your house or something. You just want to, first of all, what you want to do is try to get your roller saturated.
Sorry about that. I'm make sure I get my money right.
With the material. I'm rolling it back
I might get $100 worth. I want a lot. Because I ain't going to be out for a while. Put the rest of some bags and freeze it.
So.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. My mind, I'm thinking about that chicken now, man. I'm going to get me a couple of them Glad bags and frozen bags, man. Throw some seasoning with that. Throw it in the freezer. Let that marinate with that. You know what I mean? Because you put them in there, you know what I mean? The seasoning come out. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness, man. I forgot. I'm going to be out and about today. All right. Let me get on it because I got to get it shaved. I got to get cleaned up and all that stuff like that and get ready.
But now you want to start rolling that out, because what you see is you've got little pieces. There you go. You're just trying to get coverage, a good even coverage. It's not going to look.
That's not good at all. That's the water and the paint that's doing that. That's what's causing that problem. Definitely water in the paint that's causing that problem. That's not good. Anyway, as you can see, because I'm not going to go on and on with this. I got something on my mind right now. Mr. Bird is occupied. I still got to go paint a screen downstairs, but now usually the reason why when they go over it lighter, you know why it looks better when they go over it lighter? Because you're putting less pressure onto it. If you put pressure onto it, it's going to smear the paint. If you lighten up the roller, because that's sometimes what we do sometimes. We're painting the screen. If I put too much paint on the screen, I'll go over top of it with a light roll. A light roll means pretty easy. When you take a roller, you don't put no pressure on the roller. You just, when you hit the roller up, it'll spin by itself. But it's a light roll. All you're doing is just absorbing the excess paint on it, just smoothing it out. If you hit it harder, it's going to smear it all over the place. But that's what the light roll is for.
All right. Now you see how that's starting to coat across the screen now?
I do.
All right. And that's really all you're wanting to do is just make sure you
But it's still not taking because you see those little white areas in here that are pushing through. That means it's not taking too well. But that's supposed to be the first application. Now, as he said before, this is a system. It's supposed to build itself. But the problem is it's not married to itself. You understand what I'm trying to explain to you? When you want a surface to marry into each other, you basically, it's a timing how you do it. So when they spray a screen, especially if you spray it, don't roll it. But if you spray a screen, they want the formula one to marry to another one to get that reaction. So spray it, you'll let it dry just enough. You can see it, and then they'll hit it with the second coat. And as they start to dry, they will start to merge into each other one by one. That's how they do it. You can't do it with a roller because you'll be smearing the product. You'll be doing cross-contamination. That's what's going to happen. If you have to clean out the roller between each roll, and if you apply it while the surface is still wet, you're going to smear it into it. You want them to coat and marry to each other with an even coat. So it's best if you use a paint sprayer when you do it. We learned to do that when we were doing customized PC cases. I used to do modifications for designing and customizing my own gaming PCs. Well, I got to a point where I got tired of looking at my cases. I started stripping them apart, and I started coding and designing my own cases the way I wanted. That's why I got into powder coating and all that stuff. And I learned if you take, when you paint it, if you basically put the application on while it's still wet and hit it with another one, when they marry into each other, the color changes. Also, too, color changes by cold and heat, too. So that happens too. I learned that when I did a demo. I was painting a PC on the porch. I call it the Silver Surfer. It was all silver, and it was cold outside. And when the cold hit the screen, it caused this form of a crack formation, like cracked all up and down the side of the screen. I came outside. I thought it was the most fascinating thing. Like it was cracked to ice. I was like, wow. So then when I started doing PCs and I started developing them, when I would paint them up, take them apart, I would stick them into a freezer and watch the formula change would cause the surface to crack. When it cracked, it would stay that way. So even temperatures can change the outcome of a screen or a paint or product or formula or whatever.
All right, now go back to this side and just lightly hold your roller. Just let the weight of the roller roll it, and you just roll up. Go take your roller and put it about halfway on the line you just made.
Right here?
Okay. And just do that again. Let the weight of...
Now you see how complicated this gets? Now mind, this is just a small screen. Imagine when you do a 100-inch screen. A 100 screen is going to be 4 feet high by 7 feet wide. You think about that one. My screens in here are 135, so they're about 7 to 8 feet high. Think about that one. Yeah, you're gonna be doing it. It's different from going and going whoop and bring it all the way down, whoop and bring it all the way down. Yeah, you're gonna be doing this 4 times, and each time you do this, you're gonna have to wash out the roller. So it's gonna take 4 rollers to wash to do this screen. 4 rollers, unless you're gonna basically buy a pack of rollers and just waste 4 of them and throw them in the trash, which you just wasted money. You wasted the money for 4 rollers for 1 screen, so you lost a little money along the way. When you think about that, because you saving money, just lost some money. Or you're going to sit there and wash out all 4 rollers, or wash out 1 roller over and over again. Or if you do this with a paint sprayer, keep in mind, you're going to have to clean out your paint sprayer 4 times in a row. And if you're using a hose and compressor, well, you're going to have to flush out your hose. You ever done one of those before? Yeah, it's a learning experience. I'm going to tell you right now. If you have done experience painting, if you've done different forms of paint sprayers, I've used the one with the hose and compressor, and you have to literally flush out your hose. Not a pretty job. Not a fun job either. That's why you watch movies and the guy was like, oh man, like the Money Pit, where the guy painted the room in the wrong color. He was using the freaking hose and compressor with the cup. And the guy was like, oh man, I got it flushed up. You complain about the hose. This freaking thing's a nightmare to freaking clean. I hate cleaning them things out. That's why I like the whole all-in-one. Done. But it gives you, it's a much better sprayer, a much, much better sprayer than the Wagner 1050 or 250 or whatever. It's such a refined spray. It's beautiful. I might airbrush the screen. I might airbrush one in. I haven't done airbrushing in a while. I might airbrush a protection.
Now the reason we're doing this is because I want to show you it's very easy. It's just a technique, right? But also this will help you optimize.
Now, really quick, just to let you know, you heard me say airbrushing, right? Do not use, the only screen paint you can use that you can use with an airbrush is an invisible. Do not use other paint. You would jack up your airbrush. I'm telling you right now, don't do that. It's too thick. Not going to work. You have to use an invisible. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to design the invisible screen paint a little bit more thinner, something for airbrush applications, and buy me an airbrush. I'm going to airbrush me a plexiglass screen.
That's it. You're done.
All right, hold on.
This will help you optimize the surface. So the surface is going to have less texture. It's going to be very fine and give you a really nice image. So it's the surface. So the surface is, but also this will help you optimize. That's it. You're done.
Now you said this surface is going to help you optimize. Danny, I know it's your name and all. How's it optimize? If the screen is dry to the touch, when I told you about how screens have to marry into each other in order for them to react different ways, the screen still has to be dried, and it's best to do that with a paint spray than a roller because you don't want to cause a cross-contamination. You want it to marry evenly. So how does that work if the screen's already dried? How would it be reacting to the second screen if it's already dried? How would that even work? Again, my wall over here is red. If someone told me, hey, you got to paint that wall blue, yellow, and orange before you can paint it red, and each one of those applications are dry to the touch, that means the final color for the wall is going to be red. The other three coatings on the other end are not going to do anything to affect the outcome of the red screen, the red wall. So how does this react? You got to explain that one.
This will help you optimize the surface. So the surface is going to have less texture. It's going to be very fine and give you a really nice image. So that's it. It was just coat the surface.
So this surface is going to refine and give you a very nice image. So if I miss this application, the first one, and I apply 2, 3, and 4, how does that affect the outcome of the screen? If this one definitely controls the outcome of the screen from the first to the end. And he's probably sitting over there scratching his head right now, telling, what the freak is he talking about? Nobody, I'm breaking down your screen. This is how it's supposed to be done. How is that going to react? So if I miss that particular application right there, which you said is designed to actually optimize the viewing pleasure of the screen, if this is missing, how is that going to, is it going to affect the screen if I just skip from 2, 3 to 4 and just skip that one? Can you show us the outcome of that? I would like to see that.
Light roll all the way across. And then now we're going to let it set for maybe 2 to 3 minutes just because this starts to try to level set itself. We're going to let it set for about 2 or 3 minutes.
All right, level set itself for 2 to 3 minutes, as I said in the instructions. So what if your screen is bigger than the screen that you're painting in the demonstration? Is it still going to take 2 to 3 minutes, or is it going to take more than 2 to 3 minutes? Clearly, the screen you have in there is not a 100-inch screen. So if my screen is a 100-inch screen or longer, how much more time is that going to take besides the screen you're showing in the demonstration? Or they hated me in class. The teachers hated me in class. They couldn't stand me because I'd break down what they were saying. I was like, wait a minute, what? Yeah, they couldn't stand me. Mr. Bird, thanks too much. Yeah, these are the questions you're supposed to be asking at the end of the day, people. This is why when I make purchases on expensive items, I know exactly what I'm getting because I'm not afraid to ask some questions. Oh man, I'm not afraid to ask some questions.
And then we're going to put it on the on our fan. Excuse me. We're going to put it on the fan, and we'll be back in just a few. Okay. All right, so we're back. Now, one thing that I did forget to mention in the first coat was when you finish, rinse out your roller. Now, what I do is usually that's the reason I use so little material. That way, there's not really a lot to rinse out of your roller.
Did you just hear what he just said? The reason why he uses so little material because there's not a lot to rinse out of your roller. Oh man, couldn't make this up if I wanted to. It's so easy. So let me get this straight. No one is going to be using the screen size of that caliber in their theater room setup. I don't even have use for that anywhere. My kitchen screen is bigger than that. My kitchen screen is about a 70-inch. So let me get this straight. You're talking about the reason why you use such small amounts of material because you don't have a lot to wash out. So if you have a screen of 100-inch, well, get ready because you're going to be doing a lot of wash out. It's a lot to wash the screen out. It doesn't make a difference. At the end of the day, whether it be 100 or 50-inch, if your roller is saturated white paint, you're still going to do the same or more wash out. I said you're not going to do less. Probably the size of your roller, maybe. Yeah, if your roller is a smaller roller, then yeah, you're going to wash out less paint because it's a smaller roller. But if you're both 9-inch rollers, whether you're painting a 100-inch or 180 or 120, I don't care what it is, you're still going to wash out the same amount of paint. It ain't any different. It ain't like you're going to paint your screen with 120-inch and all of a sudden your roller's going to shrink because it's painted on a smaller screen. No, you're still going to wash out the same amount of paint. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my entire life, I swear.
So you don't waste a lot of material, but you start with a first line. And while Kelly's rolling it, I'll talk a little about the product itself and what it's designed and engine. Exact same thing we did last time. And while Kelly's rolling it, I'll talk a little about a lot to rinse out of your roller. So you don't waste a lot of material. But one thing that I did forget to mention in the first coat was when you finish, rinse out your roller. Now, what I do is usually that's the reason I use so little material. That way there's not really a lot to rinse out of your roller. So you don't waste a lot of.
Very little material. You're still going to have to wash out. So just because you are the painter, you're talking about the customer that may not do that the same way you're going to do it. So they may saturate the roller with a lot of paint. At the end of the day, you're still going to have to wash your roller out. And washing the roller out is not an easy task. I've done it before. It's not an easy task. Some people just get them ready to throw them out and just buy a brand new one. But you're going to have to literally wash all the paint out of the roller. It's like if you have this massive afro and you dump a lot of shampoo in there, you're going to spend a lot of time in the shower. Those of you have a lot of hair trying to get all the soap out of your hair. So basically put in the conditioner. You're going to have to really get in there and get all that soap. Because if soap transfer to your screen, you mess up your screen. If water transfer to your screen, you mess your screen up. Then you're going to have to dry them down. Rollers are going to have to be dried. A lot of water is going to push out of that roller. It's going to take quite a lot of time to dry the roller. I've soaked an entire t-shirt just trying to get all the water out of a roller. So it's going to be a process. I showed you on camera what you got to go through. It's not going to be easy. You're going to do that 4 times in a row.
Material, but you start with a fresh roller for this coat. So this time we're going to do the exact same thing we did last time. And while Kelly's rolling it, I'll talk a little about the product itself and what it's designed and engineered to do for you.
Engineered to do. Oh man, I want to taste it so badly.
It'd be hard to hold that spoon, kid. So just get used to it.
See, those of you sit there and say, well, Mr. Bird, you know, you talking all this trash. Mr. Bird's got about 17 demonstrations of my black paint alone. If I sat there and told you that my product is not the same as black paint, not the same as black fabric, not the same as black vinyl, Mr. Bird can back it up. Mr. Bird can be on camera with a paintbrush, drawing into his screen and showing different images where his screen is producing the highest white level. If I show you my screen can be displayed outside at 150 inches and I can pull up a white snowstorm at 190, Mr. Bird can back it up. Mr. Bird sits there and tells you that my product has been tested over multiple certified projection screens into the ultra short throw demonstrations. I can back it up. If I tell you I can display an Optima GT 5500 outside noontime at 140 inches, mind you, that projector is only designed to do 100 inches on a black screen outside, Mr. Bird can back it up. There you go. That's the difference between me and everybody else. I can back it up. I've done it, been there already. But this right here, I ain't backing it up. You got to break this down. Now this is twice already
It'd be hard to hold that.
that they didn't stir the paint up before applying it. So 2 times they missed.
Get used to it. Very nice. And she's just going to repeat the same thing that happened last time. You just try to move this around, get your roller getting wet.
This is going to be sad, Partay. I got to paint a 180-inch screen. I'm going to knock that screen out in no time at all. Boop, 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 done. And it took you this long to paint this surface.
If you just go across your panel there, you'll saturate the roller. And then you're just going to try to make sure that you move the material around to coat the full screen. So while Kelly's rolling here and getting that done, see, I'm just going to cut you loose on your own.
Good luck with that.
All right, folks, so while Kelly's doing her thing, I'm going to do a little narration here. So what you want to avoid is overworking this. That's the reason I'm being so thorough in the explanation. Because the tendency for people is to try to roll this as a paint, where you're trying to get color coverage that looks the same from one roll to the next roll. You don't need to worry about that with this. This is
Danny, question here. So your product is not a paint, but it's supposed to be performance. How many certified screens have you taken on for this product? Can you at least do 18 today? Now, for as long as you and Crow have been basically making paint, you should have at least had that many certified screens in your category already. So what makes your product different than a certified projection screen on the market? What's the difference between your product and Black Diamond, Elite Screens, any of the big boy companies? What is the difference between your product than just being an everyday paint? Can you show that your product is different than paint? You can't do that, can you? I didn't think so.
This is going to happen naturally as you do your layers, okay? What you're trying to do is, 1, get coverage on the surface. 2, and when I say coverage, just get get the surface wet with the material.
Ugh.
Go back. Step 2, you're going to add a little bit of pressure like she's doing now, just rolling one direction. It really shouldn't even be roller. A very little material came out of it.
Now the third one, they stirred it. He realized that he was making mistakes. Let me get my charger. The video's so long, burnt out my freaking battery on my freaking phone. What the freak? Oh man. Oh, I gotta be up. I work today. Taco scenario. You know the stereo. That's what that was, the taco. Work it out, work it out, work it out, work it out, work it out. Man, I'm gonna get some Captain Crunch. Captain Crunch. You had to get my charger real quick. Let me comment this real quick.
At this time, so you did a good job. I'm not using too much last time. All right.
Ready?
Yep.
They stirred it up that time. You hear the stir? They did stir it up that time. But the last two, they didn't stir it up.
Okay.
I don't know about the fourth because they split up the video. Now the problem you have with that, you notice when he said something about the paint pan, he never finished the conversation. We'll talk about that later on in the video. He never did, because I said if you can put it in the paint pan, you wouldn't have to go through that at the end of the day. Second, if your screen is stationary, some of these screens at churches and stuff like that, these are really big screens, they're stationary, they're up there and they're not going down. They will paint these screens literally up against the wall. You can't apply the surface to a wall. Not going to happen. What are you going to do? Pour it down the side of your wall? It's just going to drip right down the side of your wall and defeat the purpose of the whole 2-inch and 3-inch line thickness application. That's not going to be there. You can't paint this onto a wall. You have to put it into a paint pan to apply it to a wall. And if you have to put it in a paint pan to apply it to a wall, then what's the purpose of this? Why don't you just pour it there to begin with? Because I'm pretty sure when you put it in a paint pan, you're not going to draw a long line in your paint pan and go from there. That'd be idiotic. That'd be really seriously idiotic. So this screen right here at 135 is stationary. See how it hits from one corner to the next? See how my radiator sits there? There's virtually no way in the world that I can take the screen off a wall and lay it down, because I would have to move all the furniture, including the radiator out of here, in order for the screen to actually hit flat on the ground. Impossible. So some people have screens that are stationary. They're there. They're not going anywhere. They're massive, huge screens. You couldn't apply this to it, number one, because there's no way in the world you could put the application on if you had to basically put a line down the middle of the screen. What about paint sprayers? How would that work? You didn't think about that, did you? So if I wanted to use it with a paint sprayer, and he says, yes, you can use a paint sprayer, then if I use it with a paint sprayer, what's the point of painting the line down the middle of the screen? Because I'm pretty sure you're not going to do that with a paint sprayer, are you? Ah, we didn't think about those things, did we? So the only way you can use this application is with a roller and a roller only. You can't spray this on. Because if you could spray this on, you wouldn't need this to be put on, would you? Man, I'm telling you. I told you, his instructions alone destroyed his product.
Remove your material first. Start all the material that's in the center.
Yeah.
You want to make sure you start moving it out.
Hey, Partay, when you got time, call me. I got to ask you a couple of questions real quick. You got my number. You called me a few times. Just when you call me, be an adult this time. Be an adult. Don't the curse words.
So if you have a little
Don't put that in there. Just talk to me. Just talk like you talk to everybody else. You understand? Don't act like an idiot. Call me, talk to me. I got a question I'm going to ask you about your product here. One of the things I definitely need to ask is paint sprayer applications. How would you use this with a paint sprayer if you had to put a line in the center of your screen to start the application to begin with? Call me up. Explain it to me, please. I really enjoy the conversation.
Roller or anything like that that comes off, you see a speck of something.
Because you can't use it with a paint sprayer. It'd be virtually impossible if it has to be applied this way.
It'll cover really easy.
Oh, man. How much more of this we got?
So now you want to do your light bulb because you were putting pressure over.
All right, people. This is pretty much it right there.
Specifically, it's built, it's made.
You want to watch a demonstration? Go to this. We're going to watch it, man. It's a long demonstration, man. But I said, at the end of the day, man, good gracious. You You just alienate yourself on so many levels with this product. You can't paint a stationary screen, so that's going to be done. There's no company on the right mind that's going to pull down a 200-inch, a 250-inch, even if they got a 100-inch screen. The way they have it mounted, that means they have to bring maintenance, and maintenance is going to have to come in. They're going to have to remove the screen off the frame because they're not going to do it. They're going to have somebody else come in, and they're probably going to have to schedule time for maintenance to come pick it up. If they're going to be on call, come in, dismantle the screen, take it off the wall, put it on the floor, depending on where it's at, recoat the screen, put it back up, dry it. For the drying time you have here, 5 to 7, it's going to be 5 to 7 days without their screen, and then put it right back up. The instructions are insane. Let's go with the final product. This is the final product already done. Now, remember, you went through all that to begin with for the final product.
Panel that I'm going to show you.
The optimization,
Kelly, my wife,
certification,
as an example,
modification, telecommunication.
So
whatever.
She said her tagline was so easy and ever as far as applications.
Your screen right here clearly is matching your wall. Your wall is only off by one little shade. It's like a little darker than the wall, but not too far from it. Not too far from it at all, period. This, I'm pretty sure you didn't optimize this right here. This is definitely house paint. This is 100% paint right here. You're saying this product right here is not a paint.
Surfaces or substrates, as we refer to them. So your substrate, regardless of whatever it is, okay, and we'll cover different types of stuff.
Just keep your eye there.
Anyway, but regardless of whatever it is, you're going to want to paint it on a flat surface. In other words, you're going to want to make sure that it lays on a very rigid, flat surface, not something that's got a lot of give or bounce to it. So when you roll this, because there's one step in it where you're just going to put a little bit of pressure, right? And if you have, say, a screen that you made that's a pine frame or something along that line, and you put material on it, you painted that material, when you lay it flat, the material on either side of your middle bar is going to sag. And even if you have 2 bars in the back, it's still going to sag a little bit whenever you try to put pressure on your screen. So my recommendation is that if you go to paint or repaint our formula on top of a painted screen, you're going to want to remove the screen from the frame and paint it. Let it do its thing and then reattach it. Okay, and this stuff is very flexible, so it'll give you plenty of flex. It doesn't dry rigid or anything like that. But let's talk about surfaces. So my recommendation would be to use a manufactured screen, a cheap one. Find you a fixed frame screen, white, just a cheap manufactured screen, say something like an IKEA.
How many times did we ask PARTAY to take this screen right here, stick it against this wall right here, and show a demonstration? He hasn't done it yet, has he? You know why? Because it'll match. That whole polarization nonsense, stacking the builder system nonsense, bull. It's bull crap. It is. It's you on camera talking a whole lot of dumb nonsense. At the end of the day, I bet you and Crow's products match perfectly. The reason why, I guarantee you had to do something to separate yourselves from Crow so y'all don't look alike. You put that deep still water in it to thin out the product and make it look like the texture was different. That's all you did with it. And at the end of the day, that whole polarization, optimization, concentration, whatever nonsense is bullcrap. Because you went through all that explaining on camera and you didn't realize the entire time that your screen is matching your freaking wall right here. Right here. It's matching your wall perfectly. You even missed 2 of the applications and it was stirring your product up. You missed that. The only purpose for the stir up, it's not going to change the outcome of the paint, as you can see. It's because the product has water in it and it's causing the paint to separate. Every time he sets it down, it causes it to separate because it's something that's not supposed to be in there. Oh my goodness. Do you people think at the end of the day when you do these demonstrations, really look at this nonsense? Oh, I guess your wall's optimized too. Good gracious.
Show Maven makes a good one. As a matter of fact, the last 2 that I've used were Show Maven. And those I bought for church screens, 120 inch. And I think the total cost with tax and everything was still
So basically, all he's doing on his channel is saying that I'm a crybaby. I'm a crybaby because I backed my product up and YouTube basically have no progress at all going on in your channels. Interesting. I didn't even know it worked that way. What would I be complaining about? My sales are good today. Very good. I made a good amount of money today. So what do you mean? If any customer comes in and asks me what has to be done, I can back my product up. Can you do it? You can't even back what we asked you to do. Shopping carts are still locked. You're terrified to open up your shopping carts because you're terrified of my product, but yet I'm the crybaby. Open one up. I dare you today. As a matter of fact, today I'll dare you to open open all your shopping carts up today. Prove me wrong if I'm not right by this. And then when you open your carts, we'll go by and we'll test your theory out when it gets over here if this product does what it's supposed to do.
Just a little under $150. So not a very expensive screen, zero edge frame, and work phenomenally for what we need it for. If you are planning to use a manual pull down or a motorized projection screen, I'm going to ask that you hold off. The reason being is because we haven't had the opportunity to test that. Now, I've ordered one as of last night, so it should be coming probably sometime this weekend or early next week, and we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to let it cure. This material cures over about a 7-day period, so I'm going to allow it to cure that full time, and then we'll...
Do you hear what he just said? Motorized projection screen. He's gonna, when the paint needs to dry, cure 7 days. You gotta wait 7 days before you can roll your screen up. Meanwhile, I got a screen downstairs I'm doing artwork on. 7 days.
Run a test and make sure that there's no issues. I don't expect any with any kind of motorized screen or pull down screen, primarily because if you watch the screen in a bit,
let's move on. I'm getting tired
so
of it.
very bright screen. I've taken this up to 400 lux, not front facing, okay, front 400 lux.
Let's get to the lie.
Related to your grandfather's leisure suit and to apply 4 optical layers.
No.
Works is that you're going to apply 4 apply 4 optical layers. Okay, you can apply at the end of it, and I talk.
Partay, this is not black. Yes, it's right here. This is black. This is black. This screen is producing gray. This is a gray screen right here. So you're not producing contrast levels. The contrast levels are black that should be matching this right here.
Talk about this and the display for the actual application that Kelly does here. But you can put a 5th coat if you so choose.
Listen to what he says. You can put a 5th coat if you so choose. What happens if you put a 5th coat in, Partay?
Shouldn't be required. But if you do put a 5th coat, generally you get just a subtle amount more brightness. So a 5th coat can actually help you out, especially if you're going to be watching it in brighter light. All right, so I'll be uploading.
So bottom line is, if you put a 5th coat in, he's telling you that you can basically get a much brighter image. Oh, I would love to test that theory. I would love to have the company down and say, but we can't. You know why? Because you're afraid to open your shopping carts. You even got so scared of us placing orders for your samples, you locked that one too. Yeah, so at the end of the day, no. Blah, 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 blah. That's why his shopping carts are not open, because he can't support the product, number one, and fear that we're going to basically come down here and do the demonstration for him. So his product doesn't work. You don't have to worry about not buying anything from him. Buying anything from him because he can't open up a shopping cart. That's how terrified he is. Terrified? Yeah, I forgot about you, Crow. You're so terrified now that you no choice but to send the Cinemax down. You no choice. That customer who came in, oh, Smith, we thank you so much. You know, Smith now is the one that's responsible for your downfall. You know that, right? Because Smith is the one that came in and said that he believes 100% that you're going to send the product. He put you on call right there. You couldn't get out of that situation. You got an actual customer saying, no, I believe in him. I believe he's going to send the product. You had no choice. You had no way out of that. Thank you, Smith, because we've been trying to get our hands on that product for the longest time. You did something that we could not do, that he couldn't do. So he had to back it up. That's why the product is on its way. Now, like I said, if he cancels, doesn't make a difference. We still have another one coming up. We placed another order in, just in case, a backup. But at the end of the day, that product is on its way. And because Crow knows it now, think about it. He fought tooth and nail to make sure that product wouldn't show up on our doorstep, even offering us an olive branch to buy from him, and couldn't even honor the agreement. Everything he could possibly think of, he basically tried to avoid sending us a product. Now, because of this customer putting him on blast like this, and I'm pretty sure he put him on blast. I'm pretty sure he probably talked to Crow like, look, man, bottom line, at the end of the day, nobody gonna buy from you. You're gonna have to sell this guy this paint at the end of the day. Make sure he gets the paint. So and so. I ain't gonna do business with you. I'm pretty sure he put him on blast, because you're not gonna make me look like an idiot in a live chat room with this guy. So you definitely gonna ship this over. So when they both confirmed about shipping it over, what's the first thing Crow did? Changed his channel name, didn't he? Right there on the spot. What did he do next? Set up another channel, and now his video content is not matching the site. He is distancing himself as far as he possibly can be from this Cinemax, due to the fact that when it gets down here and he knows it's not going to work against the Phantom, all those lies he told about the product being to turn Phantoms dark and unwatchable, Phoenix is dark and unwatchable, is not going to be true. I'm even going to send some of that paint to some of the beta testers. They can play with it. So he knows what's going to happen. So let me distance myself as far as possible from that product. There's your proof right there. Didn't happen a day or 2 days. It happened the minute he made that agreement. And that agreement was recorded right there for everybody to see. Tuesday, we were supposed to get a tracking number. Now we said, look, we'll wait until Friday. We'll give you plenty of time. You have to be to back your products up, people. Crow boys, you can get all upset. You can get as much as you want. You have to be able to back your products. This is an order, by the way. Now, where's the crybabies, right? Let me make a question here. For a company that we're supposed to be scammers and our products are not real, people are pretty scared of us, aren't they? These are the main ones that don't want to send products over, canceling orders, changing account names and numbers. We're not doing any of that stuff. Crystal Ridge is still Crystal Ridge. Website's still there. Nothing's changed. Everything's still the same. Facebook, all that's still there. So if we're the fakes, then how come we're still standing here while these guys are sitting around here shuffling things around, trying to basically keep us away from their products? Like God said, whatever's in the dark comes out into the light. You'll see it for what it is. So let's see. Let's go back and let's go check out. Well, you're going to have to do more than this. If you're doing this, you're definitely going to have to get rid of that name, Crow1176. Doesn't even say screen paint mix and say nothing. Just Crow1176. But see, this is where, at the end of the day, you're still going to be linked to that product. At the end of the day, Crow, you can distance yourself as far as you possibly can from the Cinemax. But at the end of the day, you're still linked to it. We still have dubbed videos of your products. Just like I have a dubbed video of you making a black and white screen paint product. You can't change that video. You can't change the inside of your house. Well, you can change inside of your house. We all know that. But in that video, you can't. It is what it is. It's you making a black and white product. Whatever product you decide to come up with, at the end of the day, you're still going to have to test it. And if you don't test it, we'll be on your back for it. There you go. And then you can scream your little harassment, Karen nonsense. But nope. You got something to hide, buddy. Look at the lengths you went through. Look at the lengths you went through. Change this channel's name to something called Micro something, and then you click on it and it changes over here to Crow1176. He's hiding. Even when you go to his freaking eBay account, he doesn't even come up under the category under projection screen paint, which if you're selling something on eBay, you want to come under the category that people are selling to get your item sold. Now he's coming up under something like crow paint. People that are painting pictures of crows. I'm like, Mr. Bird, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just talking trash for the sake of checking trash. Come on now. Don't make me. I tell people, when Crow Boys come in the room, I said, don't make me embarrass you this way. Don't make me embarrass you this way. You know, Mr. Bird backs everything up. Now, keywords to find paint on screen paint, because I used to sell those screen paint on eBay. If you put in certain things, you don't come under that category. If you're selling a Halo helmet and you put yourself under, like video games, you put yourself under projection screens, you're not exactly going to come up in the category that you need customers to be drawn to your site to sell your items. You want to be as close as possible. So when someone types in that name, they can pick you up. We all know how that works, right? All right, so we put on Crow's Paint Mix. I think that's the first one. If you put that Crow's Paint Mix, we come up under Crow's Mix right here. But look at the category at the bottom. It's people painting pictures of crows. All crows. Nothing but crows. That's it. See that? So if you're looking for screen paint, you're definitely not going to find it here because this category is for people that are painting pictures of crows. Which I like some of these. I might buy one of these. Actually, I like this one right here. That'd be nice for the kitchen. I like to support artists, as I do. I know it's like for an artist, it gives them confidence at the end of the day. People don't understand that. It'd be one thing, it'd be the smallest thing. Just buy something from it. Come on, at the end of the day, and if you don't like it, still buy something from it. It builds their confidence at the end. Everybody needs a little confidence build up. So I'll come here and I'll buy one of these. You know, because they sold something, sold a piece of their artwork, something that they designed. I know it's like to create and build things and sell what you like. Sometimes it's hard for some people. So I'll come and I'll buy it. $82, yeah, I'll buy it. I'll put that in my kitchen. Definitely. At the end of the day, if it builds somebody's confidence up to make them do something better, why not? It's $82. Why not? I like this one right here. This one's nice. I like that one's pretty nice. I like that one right there. It's pretty cool. I like that one. Here's some pretty interesting ones they have. Let's see. Nope, there's no paint here. Now, if you want to sell your product, the key word to put into selling is just on anything to do with anything with projectors is you want to go with projectors. Projector paint. That's what's going to bring it up. Because I did my research. When you go, anytime you're selling something, type in the search engine what's going to bring it up faster. Whatever brings it up, that's when it works. So you put in projector paint. And what do you pick up? No match found. We look at everybody else. Projector paint, projector paint, projector paint, projector paint, projector paint, projector paint. These are all people in the category of selling projector paint. So if you want to look, if you want your category to come up with everybody else's and you want to be known where people can find where you're at, you put in projector paint. Anything else you wouldn't. Anybody who sells on eBay would know this from the door. What's going to bring your tag on, what's not going to bring your tag up. He got his product hidden because it doesn't come up in this category. So that proves my point right there. What's the name of the video right here? What does it say? It says Crow Screen Mixes Destroys the Competition, right? What's the name of the, I don't know what I'm calling it. It says MicroStrategy US, right? Now all of a sudden, the symbol's not there anymore. You notice that? Yesterday, when we were doing a demonstration, we were actually Google searching the image, and the image was coming up under a software confirmed, actually a software consultant company. That's what it was coming underneath of it, right? So if I go click on this, you think his video is going to pop up? Not even there. Unless he didn't, I don't think he deleted his videos. No, wait a minute. That's the channel. What happens if we click on the actual video? I'm curious. I don't think he deleted this video. That'd be stupid to do. I mean, that'd be the dumbest thing to do ever. I would have him all marked private because he has more videos in there besides just, he has stuff with his family and vacation and stuff like that. I wouldn't do that at all. I would just have him all marked private. So the video's still there. He's just not linking to his channel. So we can dig up the Cinemax on for a minute. Doesn't have any video content. He's building his site. Yeah, he's working on a site right now. He's building. He's erasing this up bit by bit by bit. You don't have a choice. And if for those of you who want to get mad at me and go, oh, but you did. No. He did it to himself. You have to test your products, people. I'm sorry. You shortcut people that do shortcuts all day long. I can't stand you people. I'm not saying y'all. I can't stand people who do shortcuts. Y'all the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. Especially when it comes to job and work. Y'all always cut corners on everything. And that crap comes back to bite you in the face later on. Instead of doing the work right the first time, that crap comes back to bite you in the face. I used to have people I used to work with constantly cutting corners. And at the end of the day, that stuff will come back to bite somebody in the face. You work in the food industry, you're supposed to go in, you're supposed to rotate the food. From the food that's coming in, from the old food, you're supposed to date everything in there. And you have people there that wouldn't want to do their job. And at the end of the day, the boss would go back there and see stuff that wasn't right. They could get him fined at the end of the day. And you wasting a whole freaking Friday in there rotating and dating all the food in the freezer from one end to the next. Even the stuff you already did you're doing it twice because Slow Joe in the corner over there didn't want to do his job correctly. He want to cut corners. These are the last people you want to have in your house as contractors that are cutting corners. You want somebody actually replacing the support beams in your freaking home, or redecorating your deck, or rewiring your electrical system who cut corners? Yeah, that's where lawsuits come at the end of the day. Because your house burnt to the ground because somebody basically didn't wire anything correctly. You don't want that kind of nonsense. People who cut corners are the freaking worst. Get your car worked on, come back and find out it don't work the next day, it don't start the next day. That's wrong, that's wrong. You got to take it back to the same mechanic because they didn't do it right the first time. I can't stand people who cut corners. Do it right the first time. What's the problem? You're getting paid for it. Do it right the first time. Don't have to keep coming back over and over again to get something fixed. Get your car fixed. You go to drive out somewhere and the sucker shut down on you. And you just came out of the freaking garage freaking like a week ago. You got to go back in there. Tell me you can't relate to that. You got to go back in there and argue with somebody about what the freak just happened. You paid all this money out and your car is still having problems. Cutting corners. Or you take it to another mechanic and he goes, oh man, they messed your vehicle up. You got stuff in here that's not even supposed to be in here. Half these parts don't even fit your car. Cutting corners. Because you want to take the money, go to the junkyard and get something that's going to halfway fit the car, and then later on you pay for that mess. Yeah, that bull crap, man. I can't stand people don't do their job correctly. I can't stand it. These are the corner covers right here. These are the ones that get outed and get busted. Oh, man. Okay, I'm done here. I got to paint 150 inch screen. I got to get ready, and I'm going to be out. I'm going to get myself some jerk chicken today. Some jerk chicken today. Let me put it this way. If I cut corners, I wouldn't be to walk through my house the way I walk through my house now. So if I cut corners, I couldn't do any of the demonstrations I do live. All right, then. Let's move on. A lot of people say, but you cut corners. Show me where. Okay, then. I didn't think so. My stuff don't match bed sheets, paint, and all that mess like that. I don't match none of that stuff. I'm not sitting there hiding in the dark trying to figure out where my coffee table's at the end of the day. My screen's on right now. Right now, I can watch TV right now. Watch David the Beaver, Dennis and Menace, cartoons, whatever. And on top of that, I can go into my theater room, lean back my recliner, and I can watch a football game on my ceiling while the lights are on. Okay, then. All right. Let me see something for a minute while we're here. Yeah, because he's going to have to separate himself. Because mind you, at the end of the day, if he's claiming that Cinemax, and that Cinemax doesn't do what it was supposed to do down here, what's going to happen then next? All right, then. That screen's going to have to pull up a contract. Like you said, I don't want to hear anybody back. Oh, but he never said, no, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. Y'all said this product, that Cinemax can match a black screen, right? 100%. Blend into it. Let's see what happens. All right, then. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear y'all changing up at the last minute. Take it like a man. Deal with it. We're going to put him right against the Phantom. Let's see what happens. See if he can maintain that contrast level and color next to that monster. But I don't want to hear it. Ooh, that one outside. Screen paint washed out outside and inside with no problem. That's what the Cinemax is going to go. They're going to take it outside. Darn straight, we're taking that bad boy outside. It's got to be outside. Why not? It's supposed to be its top and best screen paint. It's supposed to be the Beat Black technology. Let's see what it can do. There you go. There's Crow. There's which one right there. I told you, we got recordings on everything. That's right there where he changed his channel, right? Now all of a sudden he got rid of the symbol. Because we started basically Google searching the image. Because I've seen it somewhere before. I've seen that image somewhere before. Now you got rid of it. Came up under an investment, a company for search for what do you call it? Software. That's what it came up under. So let's see if we can get I want the Cinemax, because we need to get a recording of some of these videos before he starts deleting these bad boys. Actually, there's a couple more. We're gonna get recordings up. We need to compare to it. This is right here. Told you we got Crows product. Many times we had this product over here. That was 2 years ago. We had that product over here. But let's go to something more interesting I want to see real quick. Dark as always. Always in the dark. What's the deal with you? Always in the dark. I can never understand. This is your product outside, Crow. This is how we know your products don't work. That's from 2 years ago. We tested your product outside because we gave him a demonstration. We gave him the ultimate 1100 lumen challenge. He refused to do it. So we bought the product, brought it down here, and did it ourselves. And this Partay in there whining. He's whining about something. He's in his backyard, whining again. Again, open your shopping carts, Partay, so we can finish crushing the rest of your products. Because I'm getting tired of these canceled orders from you. He's in there crying. I don't know what Partay's crying about. He's in his backyard whining about something. Who cares? At the end of the day, we got these on you, buddy. You put that money right back in my account. There we go, right there. Partay talked all that trash about your product, and at the end of the day, we got canceled orders on you. You open up your shopping cart again, I'll make sure I get 13 on you. 13 canceled orders on you, just like we got with Crow. We'll make it even, 14. And we'll get that money back in our account no time at all. You can't back your product. Your product is junk, as it is. Demonstrations are junk. It is. You can't back your product up. It doesn't do what it's supposed to do at all, period. Now, let me see. This is supposed to be the Cinemax, right, Crow? Hope it's not, because that's your Cinemax right there. That's supposed to be our product. Well, I'm going to make sure we get a recording of this. We're going to put that side by side, because that's what you're saying right there, right? This is how dark our product is supposed to come up next to yours. You better be to back that up, buddy. I told you I'm going to put you 2 months, maybe a month or 2. Yeah, and I got my beta testers all lined up. I'm going to send them over paint too. As a matter of fact, I might buy some more from you. You honor this agreement and do, we'll buy more from you. Look, he's hiding his account. See right here what comes up right here? It says one thing over here. You click over there, it says another thing. That's one thing about scammers. Scammers will do all kinds of stuff to hide what they do. So over here you got coming up under MicroStrategy US. Why is that even there? With nothing attached to it, nothing at all. At first you did have something attached to it. Now you click on that, and that comes to over here, which is Crow1176 with no information next to it. That looks like a scam to me. Like I don't know, like you're hiding. It definitely looks like you're hiding, like you're trying to erase your trail as much as possible. Let's go over. This is your home page. Let's go over to your videos and see what pops up. Now there's your videos popping up right there. You sound like somebody trying to hide. What you trying to hide? What are you hiding right there? You're hiding something. We're supposed to be scammers and all this, but for some reason your links are not connecting. So one video is saying, your main link is saying micro something strategy US. We click on there, the channel is completely blank. Then we go into your video, homepage is blank. Then we go into your videos, and now your videos are pulling these up. You're not back. You just hid your channel, that's all. But you're saying, I'm back. You're not back. You hid your channel. Trying to pull fake ones. Always trying to do fake ones. Like I said, scammers will always try to hide their product, no matter what. Now, this is supposed to be the Phantom review. This is supposed to be our product right here. Well, we'll see. If your product matches up, I want to see it when it gets here. But until then, buddy, you're not doing too good. Number one, I don't see any videos of here doing the black and white paint test. Where are your black and white paint tests? We sent you multiple links. Where are they at? Anything here? You see any tests here where Crow backed this product, showing this product was not black and white paint at the end of the day? Anything here? How many links did we send over to Crow? We sent multiple links on asking you to back your products next to black and white paint. Where are your links at? I'm not seeing one thing here. Nothing. Not one thing. Don't worry, Crow. When your product gets here, we're going to put it against black and white paint, digital and crystal screen paint. And like I said, I got a couple other people that want to get their hands on it too, because they want to do their own tests. Even one of your customers want to test that product. But I don't see anything here. But you're saying you're back. How are you back? You changed your accounts. Why does your homepage look like that? Sounds like somebody is hiding. First of all, why would you have to leave to begin with? Why would you have to say, I'm back? If your product did what it was supposed to do, you should have never left to begin with. Oh, too bad. Now, that's what it comes down to. If your product works, why would you have to leave to begin with? We didn't leave. We didn't go anywhere. We're still here. I don't have any video talking about, hey, I'm back. Why in the world would I leave to begin with? Unless you got something to hide. So let's see. Crow, we want a tracking number by Tuesday. So when your Cinemax gets down here, we can see if it does exactly as it does in your video demonstration. But until then, we need you to do those test demonstrations. I asked you over and over again. I sent you links to your site. What is the difference between your product and black and white paint? Can you back it up? What I'm seeing here, I'm not seeing it. Where is the test demonstrations? At the end of the day, your customers can match your product to a $13 tablecloth. Where's your demonstrations at? Come on, man. Where are the test demonstrations? We sent you this weeks ago, man. Where is your demonstration showing your product versus house paint? Where? Nothing. You got nothing here. Nothing here. Not one test done. Man, you are a fake, man. Dude, Crow, do the demonstrations again. I'm going to show you people. I'm going to show you. Look, we sent this guy multiple demonstrations. His product came up matching black and white paint. And we told him to do the demonstrations showing the difference between his product and black and white paint. And he hasn't posted. We even got a tablecloth to match one of his screens. That's it? Well, hold on for a minute. We got to go pop to the site now. We got to go to the website now. We're going to hit your site up right now. I'm about to go order some more. Let's go over it real quick. We're going to pop over and order all your screen paints by today. We want them all shipped here, every last one of them. That's going to be your penalty now. You already changed his account name, deleting this, deleting that, coming in, not even coming up in different categories. Let's bring you up. Good gracious, man. This is unbelievable. Matter of fact, we told you from the door that your product, by the time your product gets here, we want all those demonstrations done. These are all the canceled orders we got from Crow. So here's the deal, Crow. You already know it from the door. We already ordered your product. It's on the way. It's not even showing any cancellations. Nothing's coming up. The order's going on. It's on its way. Right there. Let me see. Crow, your order has been shipped right there. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. my man, doing your job correctly. Right there. He shipped the order. Right there. Order has been shipped by Crow. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I hate to say this, but I'm showing you no mercy. You know what's gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen. If the Cinemax gets down here, it better match. I don't care what it is. At the end of the day, it's not gonna match a Phantom. A Phantom is unstoppable. But since you claim that you beat a Phantom, we'll see. I'm not even gonna put you against Taco's paint, the unicorn, just everything you could possibly think of. I'm gonna take you outside, inside. I'm gonna hit you in the max out zone. You're going through the whole 9 yards. Oh well, buddy. I wish you the best of luck, but I can't say you're gonna need it. You're definitely gonna need it. A Phantom is a monster. You're definitely gonna need it. He shipped it. He did exactly what he was gonna say. Now let me see real quick. Now keep in mind, Crow, we gave you the option to be able to back your product up against black and white paint. You have until the product reaches destination to do that demonstration, to at least redeem yourself. If you don't do it, we will do the demonstration for you. Every last one of them. We'll make them in front of you on camera and we'll put them against your product. I wish you the best of luck. That's all I can say to you. That's all I can get to you. You made the accusation. You made the accusation. Now, again, I'm explaining something to you also too crystal clear. If there's anything in the unboxing, anything in there, strange, weird, put my life in danger, put anybody else in danger, I know where you live at. I'll make sure that we will have the proper authorities come to your front door and do what has to be done. You understand that? So you understand that from the door. That's not a threat. That's an actual promise. So make sure that there's nothing in those packages, anything wrong. Anything we find in there, right there from the door. I have a few people from the police station I'm very good friends with. I'll have them come down and inspect the package. If there is anything in there that's not supposed to be in there, and I get harmed in any way, you're going to be in a lot of trouble, my man. I mean, a lot of trouble. So you better keep this very clean. But let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. Ship so. Well. Look at this. Wait. So, Crow ships us the wrong paint. Hey, Crow, we didn't order that. I told you going to do something slick. He didn't ship us a Cinemax. Scared to death. Well, guess what, Crow? We're going to cancel the order. And we're going to ask what we ordered for. We didn't order Frankenstein. We ordered the Cinemax. I'm going to show you where Crow basically cheated us. Again, like I said, scared to death. This is what Crow shipped us. Gunmetal. We didn't request a gunmetal. I paid for a Cinemax. That's what I paid for. So, Crow, here's the thing. You're going to have to ship us out the paint again. We requested a Cinemax. So that's going back to you when it gets here. And you're going to ship us out the Cinemax as we requested. Don't get scared, man. So that's what I'm talking about. Dirty tactics. You can't be trusted. You're going to ship us out a Cinemax. That's what we requested. That's what I paid for on my credit card. At the end of the day, you committed fraud. And we got you again. So you're going to go back and you're going to ship me back a Cinemax. What I requested on my debit card, what I paid for. On my statement, that's what I paid for. You don't ship it back. And again, at the end of the day, like I said, we'll file a complaint against PayPal. We'll get our money and we'll place the order again. So we're going to give you a chance to do it again. I told you he was scared to death to ship that paint out. He went in and deliberately shipped us the wrong product on purpose. That's why I told you at the end of the day, this is not a person I would trust with credit cards or anything else whatsoever because he can't do his business correctly. Nope, we can't accept it. Not what I paid for. Sorry, buddy. So you're going to have to go in. You're going to have to ship us out the product we want. Let me send this over to him right now so he'll understand what's going on. We have to file a complaint through PayPal. This is not what we ordered right from the door. Oh, and as for your policy, as in saying that once it ships on the product, we can override that easily, very easily. I have a business account on through PayPal. Yeah, I'm overriding that in no time. I'll have my money back in my account and I can override, and I can show you how to override it too. But we're going to override that easily and get our money back, put it back on our account. We'll send this over to him right now. Wrong item. That's not what we ordered. Let's go over here. Let's see. I want to go to this one right here. Wait. Let me make sure 100% on this one right here. No. It was right there. Yep. Item has been shipped. So and so and so. Order number. So and so and so. Yep. You shipped us the wrong item. You're going to have to send that back. Sorry, buddy. Wrong item. Let me see. Make sure we got this right on here. Order received. We got a couple orders that popped up on here. Invoice, October 18, 2021. Oh, no. He's in the right. I may be in the wrong on this one. Hold on for a minute. Let me make sure. We got an order coming up here. Oh, no. You did make the mistake, Crow. Let me see. No. Let me check. Make sure we're right. Let me make sure 100% right on this. I don't like to say things unless they're 100% true here. We have to make sure before we do this. All right. Let me see. Results. Blah, blah, blah. These are old. My fault. Sorry about that, Crow. I would take that back. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'll basically correct myself. I don't do stuff like that in the day. These are old orders that are popping up. Because I'm looking at this right now on the order, and I looked at the date. It's October. We're way over in December. So no, that order is still active. Let me go back and check real quick. We should have a tracking number by Tuesday under the agreement. Let me see, PayPal receipt here. This is my transaction through Crow. Right here. Oh, excuse me, it's still going through. We still have it coming through. Yeah, because we want that Cinemax. We don't want nothing else. Don't send me anything else, Crow. We want the Cinemax. That's exactly what we want. We'll get the rest of the paints later on. I got time for that. I'll buy the rest of them this week. I want all of them down here. But I told you, before the new year hits, we want every last one of them down here. And since he has agreed to send them down, we'll have them down here. Let me see. I'm going to cover up his information. I don't know if you guys got his email address and all that stuff like that, but we want to make sure we don't have it right there. We're not messing with his information. I don't like to put people's information out there like that. I'm not that kind of person. All right. Let's see. Come on, step there. All right. So we have here. I got to go in a few minutes because my driver's coming down. I got to do something today. Let me see. This is what we have. This is our order right there. 1 quart of the Cinemax. That's what we ordered right there. It says the order form right there. So we got. So yeah, no, he's in the right. I'm looking through. I keep forgetting when I was in the account. I'm looking at the old emails, and some of them, the cancellations were so fast when it was canceling our orders, we didn't even have a chance to click on them. So they're still fresh in there. Like, I mean, we didn't even have the time to click on them and look through them because they were fresh. So I pulled up an old one. I'm like, wait a minute, because he's known for doing stuff like that. We ordered product from him one time. That's how we got the UB. That's literally how we got the UB. We ordered the Metallica mix from him. He sent me a UB instead, which is interesting because we ended up needing the UB anyway. And we turned around and we got another order that went through, and the customer said to him, send anything you want, I don't care. And he sent the Metallica mix, which is interesting because that's the one product we're trying to get, and we ended up getting it anyway. So eventually how things worked out, but we have it coming in. But until then, as I can see, Jamie, from your account already, you didn't do one demonstration of your product at all, period, against black and white paint, against bed sheets, tablecloths, nothing at all. Nothing there to back your product up at the end of the day at all, period. When your Cinemax gets down here, we're going to put it through a proper review. And I'm going to tell you what it's going to go through. It's going to go through certified screens, distance throw, long throw, outside. It is going to be tested on every screen we have here in the shop, including the Phantom. And you will be taken outside. I'm not going to put you against sun killer technology because there's no way in the world you're going to take a direct hit from the sun. It's not going to happen. Your stuff would wash out there. So it's not going to happen. 12 o'clock in the afternoon, you're not going to pull. So we know that's not going to happen. Besides, I don't think you ever made a statement against sun killer technology anyway. But we will basically test it against everything out from the door. So about that. His information, I want that coming up there. I'm pretty sure you can see too much of that. Anyway, so we're going to go from there with that right there. Okay, so you, like I said, test it, anything that's done. All the demonstrations, things you cut, things you refuse to do, contrast levels, all that stuff will be tested. Everything you skipped out. Same thing like PARTAY's demonstrations. When we finally get his product down here, We're going to break down his demonstrations. We're going to test it. Since he's not doing it, we'll test it from anything from 100 inch, 120, 150. We'll buy extra, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are getting money from us at the end of the day. We're giving you money. I don't know what the problem is. And if people are like, what's the problem? You give money? I gave money. You're just giving it back. That's the only problem. You're giving it back. But you do a lot of demonstrations in the dark, and people need to see it today what they're buying. And then, like I said, we're giving you right now. I'm giving you the option, man. I'm giving you the option. I would suggest you go in and do those tests before your product gets here. I'm telling you, you want to do that. At least that gives you enough chance to apologize to your customers for scheming them. It does, because when it gets down here, Crow, you will have no mercy down here. This will not be a comfortable environment for your screen down here. It will be the worst thing it ever stepped into. It is going to be put through the ringer, and it's going to be side by side to that Phantom. You're going to bear all that punishment next to that technology, and that technology is going to laugh at what we got to throw at it. You, on the other hand, I can tell by the color of your product, it's not going to do well. I'm curious how well your product, matter of fact, I'm going to put your UV mix against your Cinemax. I bet your UV mix is going to outperform your Cinemax easily. I'm going to put a couple of your screen paints next to each other. Are we going to duplicate it? No, I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to go that far basically saying how many tablespoons of this and the other, but we are going to test you against Digital One Crystal screen paint. We are going to do that. And those ingredients are posted. We are going to do that. But we're not going to come up there and try to break down your product and make it. We're not going to do that. I mean, I can if I want to. It's easy to do. I'm pretty sure now how your product is made, but we're going to put it next to the other screen paints, the Personal mix. We're going to put it against the Metallica mix. We're going to put it on the Digital Crystal screen paint products. I want to see exactly how close you come up to a free mix. Then I'm going to put you against a bid sheet. I got to put you against that. It has to be done. Sorry, buddy, but it has to be done. If your product does exactly what you say it should pass all the tests with no problem whatsoever. And it should pull the contrast level. As you claim to your customers, you can pull contrast level equal to a black screen, right? And it should be a problem then. Oh, wait, let me see right here real quick. Let's go over here. Cancel order, cancel order, cancel order. There we go. Partay getting back to you. That's bad. I'm sorry, buddy. Where's your certified demonstrations? White level demonstrations? Any of them? Contrast demonstrations. This is the product we bought. We got our money back. He refused to send us that item. Anything outside? Nothing but a bunch of colorful pictures. So you made sure that when you did the demonstration, why would you be showing your windows? It's nighttime outside. No, unbelievable. Oh, man, you guys have no challenge for us. Look at this. This is your demonstration of your screen right here. Fail. This is the demonstration you did outside on your screen. When you showed the measuring tape, your projector was too close on a tiny little screen. So long story short, the projector was pushed all the way back. See how it's fitting perfectly? When it comes in at 12 feet right here, when it comes in at 12 feet, he's right up on top of the screen. Number one, you can tell if this was at 12 feet where the projector is sitting at, that means the image, the zoom was pushed down. That's a fail. You got all this room back here, and this is what you display. Oh, pathetic. Look at that. Your demonstrations are too dark. Your environments are too dark. This is how you're supposed to be displaying. Our screens and fully lit environments take on more ambient light than your technology. Your screen, you can't even call it technology at the end of the day. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean by these fake demonstrations. You see him outside. You see how the screen he was using, how it was too small. Even inside the house, the screens don't take in any light whatsoever. And that's a 1,000-watt work light. Let me show you what an outside demonstration is supposed to look like at the end of the day. This is why you guys are not backing your products. This is why your shopping carts are locked, because you can't produce a product, a good product. Wait a minute, I just came outside. I literally just came outside yesterday. I'm doing a demonstration in the dark, and y'all couldn't even pull up your freaking proper colors outside. Boy, I'm telling you, pathetic, man. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. That tiny little screen you're displaying on. There you go. That's how it's done. See the size of that screen? See how far my projector sits back? 27 feet from my screen. This is how you display an outside screen. That's how you do it. Not on that tiny little cookie cutter. That's why I told you, look at them outside screens, cookie cutters. When you do an outside screen, it's supposed to be displayed on a maximum level. The customer needs to see the screen on the biggest level you can possibly put it on. See right here? This is my inflatable screen. Outside against Elite's Yardmaster. I think I got one here. We had the lawyer call me back. Let me see right here. I gotta get out of here. Lord, bring me up. I gotta get to Home Depot so I can finish my trim real quick. And y'all gotta be kidding me. You're showing these dinky little tiny cartoon screens outside? Look at this. Boom. 2 screens side by side. 250-inch screens back to back, side by side, outside at 4 o'clock. And y'all are displaying those little tiny cartoon screens. That's my screen's angle gain at 180 inches, dual, side by side. 150 inch, sorry, dual side by side. Look at that. That's the difference between us and y'all on how we do things and how y'all do things. $135-inch outside. Where's it on that? So when you do a screen that's small, one of the problems that you have is the fact that the bigger the screen, the more ambient light is going to make contact with the screen. That's why you have to go with a big screen. When you do a screen that's small, there's not a lot of ambient light making contact with the screen because it's not a big screen at all to begin with. And then judging by how far that projector is sitting back, you could tell that he had the zoom, like I said, pushed down because that will allow him to get a sharper and brighter image outside. That's nothing. Take that thing outside, put it up on a 150-inch screen, and then do that demonstration. See where my screen is sitting out there, where the sun is hitting it? The awning is not even touching the screen at all, period. And I can produce an image outside. That's 92 inches outside. But as soon as you open up a shopping cart, we'll buy from you, get your product down here, and do some testing. Until then, keep your shopping carts closed, because at the end of the day, you can't back your product. And at the end of the day, like I said, they're afraid of our product. If they weren't afraid, shopping carts would be open right now. We could buy the paint from them, but they can't do that. Your product doesn't work at the end of the day. So let me see right here. Let me see right here. Hold on. There we go. Inflatable screens, right? Check this out, Partay. This right here is my inflatable screen. Outside in the daytime hours. 4:50. What time we outside? 4:53. 4:53. Not wait until the sun come down. 4:53. My technology activates outside. And you out there in the dark. Your product don't work at all, period. It don't work. That's why I said at the end of the day, don't even waste your time with their product. They don't work. They can't back their products up. And at the end of the day, like I said, Crow's sitting there. I'm back. First of all, where did you go to begin with? Why did you have to leave? You left because you had to try to distance yourself. And that's why your channel's all confused like that. You can hit my link, boom, you hit my channel. You hit your link, you come on one link, it's different. You hit another link, that's different. That don't make any sense there. Yeah, you guys are hiding. Next time you do a demonstration Partay, make sure that your screen is on something bigger than a small little tiny, that little tiny, I don't know what that thing was you had outside. Look at this, man. Look at my display showing snow. And you want to talk about your product. How is your product don't even work. Look at that. That's my screen outside at 150 inches. And we did these in duals outside, back to back, outside. And this is you. Are you kidding me? That's a joke in my book. My kitchen screen's bigger than that. My screen in my kitchen. Taku's cat. My cat screen is bigger than that. And this is what you raving about? That's why that's why at the end of the day, people, after seeing that, that's why their shopping carts are locked. This is why they can't back up their product at the end of the day. This is why Crow is changing out, trying to distance himself as fast as possible from the Cinemax. But you're gonna have to come up with a new screen paint, because isn't the Cinemax your main screen? If that's your main screen that you have on your wall, you're gonna have to change that out. You're still linked to it no matter what. There's me writing my name on my screen in black paint. Well, that's a good demonstration right there. And Partay sitting out there with this screen, this little dinky, small little cookie cutter screen, talking about, look at my demonstration, please. Come on, that's a joke at the end of the day. We laugh at stuff like that. Look at that. That's my black technology on a 1,000 lumen projector versus fabric. I haven't seen Crow did a demonstration on fabric or bed sheets yet. As you can see, we went to his account. There is nothing there at all. He hasn't done one demonstration. I sent you 8 links. 8 links, even showing you where to buy the fabric at material. You didn't do one demonstration at all. I'm giving you fair warning. Make sure your demonstrations are done before that product reaches destination. As you can see on our receipt, clearly shows what we paid for. So don't send me anything else. I want the product we paid for, what's on my receipt. If not, we'll do a charge back. I don't care what it is. I don't have to worry about 90 days. I'll make that up in no time at all. But I'll have that money back on my account in no time at all, and we'll place the order again. And at the end of the day, you give me enough of those, I'll go to Better Business Bureau with the evidence I got showing fraudulent on your website again, and I'll get your website shut down this time. I'll make sure your website will be shut down. So make sure you get this right. Don't commit any frauds. Ship it to my front door as it's supposed to be. If that product gets there, if there's anything in that product that doesn't look right, anything at all, put my life in danger, anybody else's danger, I guarantee you got my word on this, Crow. I know where you sleep at. Take this extremely seriously when I say this. You will have the proper authorities at your front door, and you will be in silver cuffs by the end of the day. Don't play with me on that level. Now, when you start sending things in the packages that may put my health at harm, that may put other people's health at harm, I'm going to come at you personally. Now you made it personal. I'll come down to your neck of the woods. I'll take the trip. Don't play with me. And I'll make sure I come down there with the proper authorities to get whatever has to be done to make sure you're prosecuted on that day. So make sure. Listen to me carefully. You know I'm a man that backs my word. Listen to me very carefully. You make sure that package gets here. If you open it up and there's anything in there that doesn't look right, that puts my life in danger, anything that happens, you have my word. 100% promise as a man that I will make sure I will take the flight down there with the proper authorities to watch you get locked up. COVID or not, you got my word on that one. Now, being a person that was raised in the street, trust me, if I gave you that word back in the day, it was going to happen. Because then you made it personal. This other stuff right here, this is nothing. This is just business. But the minute you ship something that comes into my house, and if it has anything in that package that may put my life at danger, you made it personal. And I take personal very seriously, which means I would make the flight down there to take care of it. And I'm not talking about as in a threatening matter, it's coming to your front door and taking you out. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as in going through the proper channels. I'm a businessman at the end of the day. I still got to handle things in a business way. I will contact proper authorities, contact my attorneys, get whatever we got to get, paperwork, whatever. We got to get a warrant for your arrest, whatever got to be done. Come down to California. Yes, I will. Pop up in your neck of the woods. I'm going to see this happen. I'll record the whole thing as it's going on. Come down to California and watch you get them silver bracelets put on. So make sure that whenever it comes to this front door, better not put me in harm in any way whatsoever. You'll see my face. You'll see my face, but it won't be a good thing. We got to give Crow warnings like that because Crow does really, really stupid stuff. At the end of the day, like I said, I don't care. You're talking about a man don't leave his house. The minute when something comes into my household as a threat, that's when you got my all undivided attention. I'll suit up and I'll come see you. And I'll make sure I have the proper authority. Everything will be marked. So nothing, they can't say I came up to your door with this, that, or the other. This, that, wasn't carrying or no weapons and that stuff. Nope. I'll make sure that the authorities will be there. My attorneys will be there. All the paperwork will be filed and we'll press charges right there on the spot. You know what happens when you send a product through a mail that has potential threats to another? It becomes a federal offense. Do you know that, right? Because you use the United States Postal Service to transport a harmful substance to someone's house that could have potentially caused them harm. And that becomes a federal offense. So be very careful. My attorneys are sitting there like, oh, I wish he would. I wish he would. So when they come here, I unbox it, should be the same as every last one of them. Now, mind you, keep in mind, people, just to let you know, we've never had a problem with ordering stuff from Crow and coming here with anything harmful. Nothing like that, period. When it comes to package coming, they might not be packed too well, but still, we've never had that problem. But this particular product is different. This is his main product. This is the Cinemax. It's the one he built up to be to do all this and be to do all that. He hyped this product through the roof. You remember that Cyberpunk 2077, whatever nonsense was, where they hyped it to the roof? Same scenario. So the bottom line is, when this product gets here, if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it is going to cause him a lot of problems. And I mean a lot of problems, because he sold this dream to a lot of customers, convincing them that this product made our product look black and unwatchable. So he has a lot to lose on this. That's the reason why, if you notice, his channel is changing. When's the first time we've seen Crow's channel have his weird names next to it, and the icons are changing, changing this and changing that. Then you come back and say, I'm back. Why did you have to leave to begin with? If your product worked, why would you be leaving anyway? Why would you have to put in a video and back? What would you have to go through all those processes for? Why did you go through all those changes for? I told you at the end of the day that you could have changed your name to Cinema Screens or Us or anything else, but you changed it to something completely different. Why did you have to go through all those transformations and then say, I'm back, if you didn't feel that you basically were going to have a problem with this paint being here to begin with? See, I don't, you talk like everybody's idiots at the end of the day. If your product works, why would you be changing anything? You still should be the same. So for you to put a video saying, I'm back, where did you go to begin with? You're just going to have to change some stuff at the end of the day. He's not going to disappear. He's going to have to change some stuff. He's going to change how he does his business now. That's what I have to do. You got to conduct your business differently. And I noticed you've never done any other screen paint we ever ordered from you. You never did this at all, period. I've never seen Crow ever come in and change his name or nothing. It's always been the same as it always been. He's never changed anything. Maybe his account might have disappeared for a while and came back on, but still the same thing. But in his account, everything's different. Everything's changed around. Even changed the name of his product, like he's trying to basically not have the product linked to him. He's there, but he's not there. That's what you're trying to do. And then still trying to enforce confidence within your customers. Like, look, I didn't go anywhere, so and so and so. But the simple fact that you didn't do any of the test demonstrations, I just popped onto your account. You didn't do one test demonstrations. And people watched me in a live stream talk to you directly from your website and send you the links. Look, man, I need you to test this out and put that link so and so and so. Can you do these tests for us so and so and so? And there's not one test, not one on your account showing you doing any of the test demonstrations. So at the end of the day, I guess to your customers, hey, buy my product. It could be black and white paint. At the end, they give me my money. Screw you. That's pretty much, I'm sorry for my French, but that's pretty much what you're doing. Because you haven't backed your product up yet. But like I said, I'm giving you enough time. Because if you don't do it, Crow, when it gets down here, it's going to go through the test. It's going to be the worst couple months of your life, I guarantee you. And when I get done with that, I'll buy the rest of your product and bring it down here too for testing. So I'm giving you a chance to do it yourself. At least if you do it yourself, you know, you can come up and say, hey, look, you know, so-and-so, apologize to your customers, whatever you got to do, make a whole new product, a new product line. And from now on, every time you do a product line, because you're known for doing this black and white paint scam nonsense, you're going to have to back your product. Every time with the black and white paint, every single time. I wish you the best of luck, man. I really do. But it's not going to go well for you. It's going to be pretty bad for you. Bye-bye.